Hamilton Tiger-Cats have had great crowds all season, but just one win so far in their home field. They feel they owe their fans a little bit more than that, and they're going to try to do that against the Calgary Stampeders. Hi, everybody. Dave Randorf with you. Chris Schultz, Jock Climby. How are you, Jock?
Doing very well
Chris?
tonight, David.
Outstanding, David.
Sit back, get comfy. We got 6 hours with these guys because we got a doubleheader tonight, Toronto and BC later this evening. But first, Hamilton and Calgary. And last week, the Ticats got a much-needed win, snapping a 5-game losing streak. And now, the team in the East that appears to be in the tailspin is Ottawa, not Hamilton. While out west, the Calgary Stampeders pushed a very good BC Lions team to overtime. But they're not interested in moral victories, Schultz. A loss is a loss as far as Matt Dunnigan and his players are concerned, and they want to turn it around.
Yeah, but I think the key for both of these teams is to recreate the same type of success they had in their previous games. Really, when you look at it, right now, Hamilton has a great balance between run and pass. And if Julian Radling can block effectively again for Troy Davis in the game tonight, I think that's going to go a long way to a Tiger-Cat victory. Now, on the other side, I was really impressed last week against the BC Lions with the pass rush pressure of the Stampeders, the defensive line, linebackers, defensive backs. They really harassed Casey Printers and kind of made him look average as a quarterback. But it's really hot and humid in Hamilton tonight, and this game will get down to toughness and desire. And although it's very hard to define, I think that desire element will mean everything. It's the 10th game of the year. The novelty of pro football and playing pro football is long gone. Now it becomes a desire issue, and the team that really, for lack of a better term, sucks it up and plays football is going to win.
Yeah, and it's up to those coaches, Chris, as you know, to get those guys ready to play football. And we got 2 rookie coaches going head-to-head, former teammates of one another, now head coaches in the CFL, and both of them have been maligned this year for working their respective teams too hard. In training camp, in practice, both of them have had confrontations with their players and had to be told to take a step back. There's always tension between a head coach and his players about how much you practice them and how much you get them ready for a game. Fresh legs, a player will tell you, is far more important than any preparation. And Don Matthews, winningest coach ever, Dave, he's proven that because he makes sure his players are well rested. Rookie coaches, all of them, work their players too hard.
Is he right or is he just lazy?
No, he is true.
He's not just a lazy guy?
No.
Hey, as an old lineman, you know.
All right,
fresh legs, Randorf.
All right, fresh legs. Legs feed the wolf, Chelsea.
What?
It's from the movie Miracle.
I
Legs feed the wolf. Starting quarterbacks brought to you by Wendy's, the official hamburger of the CFL. Tommy Jones gets the start again for Calgary, and Danny Mack is back for the Hamilton Tiger-Cats in your number 1 starting position. The Ron poll question tonight looks like this. At the halfway point of the season, who do you think the top defensive player in the league is? Anwar Stewart, Michael Fletcher, the Argos, Singor Mobley of the Eskimos. How about John Grace from Calgary having a great season?
Hi, everybody. Rod Black along with Leif Pedersen. It's hot, it's muggy, it's windy. It's perfect.
It's a great night for football, and it better be a good night for the Calgary Stampeders if they have designs on making the playoffs. They're going to start rookie Tommy Jones at quarterback. He's definitely their quarterback of the future.
Coming up next, kickoff from Iverwin Stadium on TSN.
Hey, Shannon, I hope you're watching in Hinton, Alberta tonight. You could win a 50-inch Prima Plasma TV if a kickoff is returned for a touchdown in tonight's game, thanks to Safeway's Touchdown to Win promotion. And if a second kickoff is returned, you can win $1 million.
Well, we'll be watching that. And Shannon, we have to tell you that we're already halfway through. A kickoff has not been returned this season.
Oh, you did it.
Well,
we're going to have one tonight.
Maybe
I can
2.
feel it now.
Maybe $1 million. It's $1 million night here. They have fit 28,850 people into this sauna here at Iverwin Stadium. It is hot and sticky, and the wind is blowing.
28 degrees doesn't do it justice. The humidex is probably around 38, 39. The Calgary Stampeders have been practicing in about 14-degree weather. I hope they drank a lot of water in the last couple of days. Matt Dunnigan, 2-7. He's got Tommy Jones starting as his quarterback. He's made a commitment to him. Matt said he is my guy to lead us into the future.
Matt Dunnigan used to play alongside Greg Marshall only a couple of decades ago, as a matter of fact, in Edmonton. 2 rookie coaches, one who ended a 5-game losing skid last week in Ottawa, and another who is desperate with his Calgary Stampeders to get back in the win column in a serious matter. Craig Yeast will take the opening kickoff from Charlie Hebert. Yeast up the middle to the 37-yard line, and that's where the Hamilton Tiger-Cats and 39-year young Danny McManus will go to work.
The dubious leader in interceptions, but he's got a pretty good cast around him, led, of course, by Troy Davis. What a week he had a week ago. 27 carries, 140 yards, a couple of touchdowns. Second currently in the league in rushing, and the guys do it up front, and nobody better than their center, Carl Coulter. Only 7 sacks allowed by this group. Best in the CFL through 9 weeks.
Our starting lineups brought to you by Tums. Tums tackles heartburn fast. McManus in the twin eye behind him, Julian Radlin and Troy Davis. Davis sees a lot of work and sees it right from the opening handoff. And he had some great numbers last week against the Ottawa Renegades in that victory. Let's meet the Calgary defense now.
Well, John Grace was missing a week ago out with an injury, but what a season he's had so far with 3 interceptions, 2 of them returned for touchdowns. And in the middle, you got to love Wes Lysak. Really lost his job. They moved Joey Bose into the middle, but a couple interceptions a week ago, 4 on the season. He's earned his starting job back.
Second down and 3 yards. Guess who again? First down, Hamilton, as they move the football. Troy Davis, great story. Comes into tonight, the 3rd leading rusher in the CFL. It will not last long, though. Gets about 20 yards. He'll be the leading rusher in the CFL.
Well, what I like over the season, he's 5.0 yards per carry. Last week, he was 5.2 yards a carry. Anything over 5 is excellent in the CFL. That's what he did in first down production a week ago, and that was a phenomenal amount of yardage.
McManus throwing. Quick strike to Mike Moriali, and depending on the spot, it's a good spot. It's a first down.
Well, Rod, what I love about this Tiger-Cat receiving corps is they've got just a great blend. They've got a guy, a veteran like Mike Moriali, who's caught 42 balls on the season now, but he averages just under 12 yards a carry. That's great. He's the possession guy. But then what they have is Craig Yeast. He's almost 22 yards of reception. DJ Flick is 21 yards a catch, and Archie Amerson, who's reborn, is over 19. So you've got the possession guys, and you can certainly get vertical with the rest.
Twin eye again. Davis again. Outside. And there's that average again. Almost 5 yards for Troy Davis off the right side.
And one of the keys always for Troy Davis is who's up front and who's leading for him, and it's Julian Radlin, number 33, the fullback. Radlin 6'2", 242. Watch the block on the outside linebacker. Here comes Radlin, 33. He takes on Brian Clark right there, and Clark can't get near Davis, and they pick up about 5 on first down. But Radlin is the key. You'll see him leading all night for his buddy Troy Davis.
Now 2nd and 5, McManus in the shotgun. Looking over the middle to Yeast, and he is hammered there. And again, it'll depend on the spot, but it is very close to a first down.
And Rod, really the beauty of good first down production. I mean, 2nd and 5, you have so many options. Danny wanted to go deeper. Obviously, he likes to stretch the defense, but with only a 3-man rush, he found Yeast over the middle, and he took a good pop.
George White, one of the impressive linebackers for the Calgary Stampeders. They run a 3-4, as they say, a 30 defense. Not many teams run it anymore in the Canadian Football League.
Well, you know, a lot of coaches salivate at the fact that 30 they feel is easy to run on. You know, you get 4 linebackers. Those are bubbles, they call. And, you know, if you hit the bubble, you usually have bigger men blocking on smaller men. And the Ticats really think that they can definitely establish the run tonight.
Well, 3rd and short yardage. Radlin almost automatic with that big body. Former UBC star. 3rd overall pick last year by the Hamilton Tiger-Cats, an outstanding rookie in the East. And you say it, you talk about the running game with the Hamilton Tiger-Cats, and you know, as Troy Davis goes, so goes Julian Radlin.
Well, because it's the design of their offense. It's not a single-back offense. It's truly a 2-back offense with a leading fullback. And if they're in an I formation and Davis carries the ball, watch 33, because he'll lead you to where the hole's going to be.
Getting close to the red zone now. Ticats impressive. Had a lot of possession last week against the Renegades. Owned the football. This time it looks like they'll be throwing John Grace. So now 2nd down and 10 for the Tabbies, just outside the 35-yard line.
And the first time tonight the Calgary's had Hamilton in 2nd and long. And the last time 2nd and 5, they only rushed 3, dropped 9. Calgary, known as a pressure defense and likes to bring a lot of people, we'll see what they do. And the biggest thing you want to do with Danny McManus is always never give him the same look. Change it up constantly. I wouldn't be surprised if they bring 5 or 6 right here.
Ibrahim Tempera, wide right. DJ Fleck, wide left. Going for Yeast near the goal line, kicking up some dirt near the goal line. I guess you can say kicking up some rubber. It's, of course, hard to...
It is rubber.
It is.
It's a great surface here in Hamilton.
Beautiful.
Terrific coverage by Joey Bozé. The ball a little underthrown. Calgary brought 5, trying to put some pressure on McManus, but a terrific job up front. He had lots of time to throw. He just didn't get enough airtime under this, and he's throwing into the wind here in the first quarter, and that ball just seemed to hang forever.
Big story earlier today in Hamilton for the Tiger-Cats. They had to make a last-minute replacement. Jamie Borum, kicker and punter, not in the game, so Jason Curry, who handled the punting chores early in the season, gets re-signed, put on the roster today, and here he is. First kick.
4-time college All-Star, 2 Vanier Cups with St. Mary's, but he can't connect on the first one.
And look out, because Wayne McGarity has some room down the sidelines. He's out of bounds. So a missed field goal from the replacement kicker tonight. McGarity bringing it back. It's scoreless.
The CFL on TSN is brought to you in part by Wendy's, the official hamburger of the CFL. Wendy's, it's better here. By Molson Canadian, I am Canadian. By Rona, the how-to people. And by Rogers, your world right now.
Well, back in the saddle for the Stampeders. Tommy Jones missed last week. Marcus Crandall started at quarterback. He was injured, of course, against Saskatchewan. Hand off to Victor Ike. Ike has almost 7 yards. The Calgary Stampeders, this is something that they did not do at all early in the season, run the football.
Well, they have to try to run the ball a little bit, and Tommy Jones gets the start tonight, and Matt Dunnigan makes it clear he is his quarterback of the future. The big guy, 6'3", 230, a better runner than most people think. And how about Jamie Crysdale? His 197th consecutive start. He anchors a pretty darn good offensive line. Greg Schaefer starting at right guard, his first start of the year.
A lot of people wouldn't have thought that Tommy Jones would have been the starting quarterback. Marcus Crandall, by the way, did get banged up last week. Sidearm toss. Big hit by Rodney Heath on Denny Montana. But it's a first down for the Stampeders.
Well, they're going. Calgary's going to work against a pretty tough Hamilton defense. Love that front 7, and of course Tim Cheatwood with a couple of sacks last week in the win over Ottawa. 5 on the season. He and Joe Montford both with 5, tied for 3rd in the league. And in the secondary, injuries forced Chris Martin, a rookie, into the lineup tonight. We'll see how he fares.
Greg Marshall, game face on. Former coach of the McMaster Marauders. Again, this was a pass-happy team under John Jenkins, their offensive coordinator, who was dispatched a few games ago. A team that's got certainly a more versatile offense, you might say, a little more variety. They initiate the pass with the run, and there's Victor Ike, who's starting to get a few more carries.
Well, he's only averaging about 3.5 yards a carry, and I mean, this hasn't been a focus for Calgary this year until the last couple of weeks. But they're last in passing, so I mean, they've got to try to balance themselves out a little bit. Everybody knows in the past what they're going to do, and they have to be a little trickier than they have been.
They're throwing this time. Jones, look out from behind, brought down by Donovan Carter. We tonight are watching 2 quarterbacks who are not exactly fleet of feet. They are not the most mobile quarterbacks, and you have to get the ball away, and Jones could not.
Well, Ticats bringing a little extra. They go with the stunt, and they can't pick it up on the left side. Seth Dittman absolutely misses Donovan Carter, and Tommy Jones can't get away from the pressure. Ticats, after giving up the initial first down of the ball game for Calgary, come up with the sack, and Calgary has to give it away.
8 minutes to go in these opening quarters. Sellout crowd here at Iverwin Stadium tonight. Hebert, low snap, line drive down to Craig Yeast. Yeast, a couple of cuts and swallowed up at his 36-yard line. It is scoreless. McManus back to work in his second. You're watching Wendy's Friday Night Football from Hamilton. Welcome back to Steel Town. Hamilton Tiger-Cats and Calgary Stampeders. Cats trying to get back to 500. Started the season 3-0. Impressive start. And Danny McManus, the 39-year-old, was playing like a 29-year-old. And then for a few games, he looked like a 49-year-old. Well, now he's playing again like he's found the fountain of youth the last couple of weeks.
Ticats double tight ends, really going to try to establish the run tonight.
Davis going the other way. Troy Davis fighting for more yardage. I talked with Troy before the game and talked about the weather here tonight, how hot and sticky it was. He said he's going to definitely have to take a lot of water. He's been hydrating all day. They knew that, especially with the way they controlled the ball last week against Ottawa, that he was going to see a lot of running time here tonight.
Well, you know, when he had 27 carries last week, it was great. He had 140 yards, and that allowed Danny Mac not to have to throw the ball all the time. He only had 31 pass attempts. That's a low number for him, but I think a very functional number for this offense.
Throwing down again, 2nd and 5. Quick pass to Fleck, who had it flicked away.
Wow,
Nate Terry.
What a great play by Nate Terry. All the linemen chop block to get the defensive lineman's hands down, and DJ Flick with the quick slant. This is a tough pattern to cover. You're going to get a great look at some awesome work here. Bit of a grab there. Watch the hand come through, knock it down. That is terrific work by Nate Terry.
This is a defense you might say has been a little maligned. This has been a team that has been maligned. The upheaval in Calgary, a lot of house cleaning going on. If there is a positive, though, their secondary has been outstanding, leading the CFL with 17 picks this season. Curry lost the ball and still booted away.
Well, the snap, Rod, the snap was a little off to the side, but really, you know, I think this is one you should handle. I mean, you got to have good hands as a punter, and he took his eye off it, and whether it's jitters being back in the lineup tonight, he missed the field goal early, and, you know, that's a ball that he should handle with no problem. He's a former receiver at St. Mary's as well, so, you know, that's kicker error, totally.
So Jason Curry comes back to the sidelines, and the Calgary Stampeders have immediate field position. Tommy Jones with that left knee of his wrapped up in a brace. Went down in a heap. Taylor Field a couple of weeks ago. Hands inside to Victor Ike. We will have to watch and monitor Tommy Jones tonight, too. Again, back in the lineup to see how mobile he is. Again, he's not the most mobile guy to begin with.
Well, what he does, though, Rod, is he, you know, he's not going to beat you downfield with his feet for picking up a lot of first downs, but he's pretty good at buying himself a little bit of extra time. And, you know, he will hang in a little bit longer than Marcus Crandall did to try to find an open receiver. Crandall liked to get rid of the ball quickly. I think the difference you'll see in Tommy Jones is he may hang on to it just a little bit longer and try to buy a little bit of time with his footwork.
Stampeders now from the 30. 2nd and 3. Jones handing again. Nowhere to go. Joe Montford there. Gang tackle by the Ticats, and that will bring out the Stampeder kicking team.
Well, you know what? Not many times this year did Calgary get second and short with their running game, but they don't even block Joe Montford from the outside here. They got a great situation, 2nd and 2, but as they fold down, Ike tries to come back, and guess who's waiting for him? Not only a great sacker of the quarterback as we know him, but Joe Montford with his tremendous speed. You don't block him on the backside of a play, he will make plays like that as he just did.
Charlie Hebert, 18 of 24, this from the 40. Kick is up against the wind, and it's wide left. And that's the first point of the game. 1-0 Calgary on the Hebert miss from Ivor Wynne Stadium in Hamilton. 1-0 Stampeders. Joining us on the sidelines tonight is Claude Fegg. Let's go to him now. Claude.
Thank you, Rod. Well, you know, along with the Tiger-Cat turnaround on the field has been the turnout at the gate so far this season. Of course, tonight we've said it's probably another sold-out crowd here at Ivor Wynne Stadium, and quite enthusiastic about their team, but they really haven't had much to cheer about on home field so far this year because the Tiger-Cats are just 1-3 at Ivor Wynne. Safety Rob Hitchcock told me that that brought some talk in the locker room this week. The sentiment being that let's get a big win for the fans and for us. Running back Troy Davis adding the Cats have to show the fans some respect because they're expecting the win at home. So, guys, we'll see tonight if it's a case of respect or repeat performance by the Ticats.
Or is it jitters at home? Here's the penalty call now. A flag on the play. A completion to DJ Flick. It's coming back. Well, you played in Hamilton. You know what it's...
Hamilton, number 5. First down repeated.
Craig Yeast with infraction. You know what it's like to play here. This is a great place when it's packed.
Well, it's a great place when it's packed. I mean, my last year here in 1981, we were getting 30,000 plus all the time, and great fans, very, very loyal fans. And, you know, for the most part, over the lean years, I think they've been great fans. And now that the team is better, certainly better this year, they're here in numbers, and it's fun to be here. I enjoy this.
McManus had it knocked down.
Wes Robertson made a great play. He's shuffling in at defensive end tonight for the Stampeders. Really a linebacker, but they've got him at rush end. And, you know, I mean, it's simple coaching. You know, you tell your defensive guys 100 times a year that if you can't get there and get the pressure, get your hands up. And Wes Robertson did an excellent job there, and the Ticats are in a bind, 2nd and 15.
He's a bit of an undersized guy for rush end, but he says it doesn't matter. Matt Dunnigan loves his speed off the line. Here he comes. McManus throwing again. Moriali with room. And the first down. What a play. The Tiger-Cats needed that as they were digging themselves into a hole.
Offensive line, again, does a good job picking up the stunt. And Moriali, nothing fancy, 5 receivers out. He's just going to come from the right side of your screen right across here. That's an easy ball to complete. Everybody drops deep. It's underneath the linebackers. Now, he looks like he's got some newfound speed in his career. Jumps over one person right there, and that's a great pickup. 2nd and 15. When you convert, your offense has done a great job.
Moriali, like Joe Monfort, stint in Toronto and then back to Hamilton. McManus on the bootleg. The other way. Danny Mack.
Oh, no.
Well, you know they were going to catch him, and once again, it's Robertson bringing him down. Danny McManus had daylight, but then quickly found darkness.
I have to believe that's a broken play, because usually when Danny McManus is going to run the naked bootleg with no blockers out in front, it's usually in the goal line where he's really trying to fool a defense and score a touchdown. I'm really surprised if that was a planned play at midfield.
Couple of big plays from Wes Robertson. 2nd down and 9 yards to go for the Cats. Shotgun, McManus throwing again. Here comes the blitz. Moriali try to fight for a first down, will not get there. Will come up a couple of yards shy, and that will again bring out Jason Curry. And you know that Greg Marshall and the special teams coach have also talked with Curry a little bit about the way he handled that last snap.
We better handle this one. He's not going to want to come off the field, but you get a shot of Joey Bose leaving the field. When you run that kind of play to his side, which he's usually the short side halfback, he's a great tackler, excellent tackler, and he made no mistake, no miss on Moriali there.
Again, Curry did handle the punting duties earlier in the year. First one went 7 yards, was lucky to get it off. Here come the Stamps. Oh, good kick this time. Booming punt. McGarry at his 5. Brought down at the 7 by Marcus Spencer. Good kick this time from Curry. 1-0 Stamps. Calgary Stampeders in the shadows of their goalpost. They lead 1-0. Inside 2 minutes in the opening quarter. Jones from his goal line. Tosses out of the backfield is Ike. Hit hard by Donovan Carter. The helmet goes flying and a pickup of 6 yards.
Well, that's a good read by Tommy Jones in that situation. You've got 4 receivers to the wide side of the field. You've got some room backside, short side. Now, he really wants to go outside, but you know what? Victor Ike is not a bad option right here. He chooses to go. Now, if he breaks one tackle right here from Carter, he's got some good yardage, but I mean, that's not a bad play. 6 yards on first down. You get a little breathing room. Carter, the injured Hamilton Tiger-Cat, but you know what? That was a good read by Tommy Jones.
So Donovan Carter is down on the field. And you know that there's going to be a lot of water consumed here tonight. Some of these big guys on that front line like Jeff Pilon. Hot and sticky night. The Golden Horseshoe coming up right after this game. 2 very hot football teams, the BC Lions and the Toronto Argonauts. Should be a good one. Wendy's Friday Night Football, second half of our doubleheader coming up after this one. Might see some players cramping up here tonight.
Oh, I don't think there's any question. I mean, it's only like 28 degrees, but the humidex is high 30s for sure. And there'll be some water challenges tonight.
2nd and 5. Jones going deep downfield, and it is caught by Wayne McGarity. What a catch!
Yeah, they're working on the newcomer, Chris Martin. They got the situation they wanted, and good for Tommy Jones to recognize the blitz coming. Rob Hitchcock was in as the extra defensive back / linebacker. Here's McGarity right here. This is nothing more than a fight for the football because you know what? The coverage isn't bad, but he locates it. Martin can't quite get to it quickly enough. I mean, Martin didn't play that poorly. McGarity just made a heck of a play. And when you're deep in your own territory and you can buy yourself some breathing room in one play, you've done a heck of a job.
First big play of this game. What might be the final play of the first quarter. Final 10 seconds. Jones scrambling. Deep again, downfield. And looking this time for Nick Lewis, the rookie receiver. And that doesn't look good there. As Troy Saunders went into the dugout area. And he is hurt.
That's the one bad thing about this stadium.
It looks like he's stuck.
You know what, Rod? It happened to me. I caught a ball full flight on the sidelines one night, and I couldn't stop, and I took a hit about a yard from the sidelines full steam, and I went right down the stairs into the wall. And, I mean, it is the scariest thing in this. I mean, the wall is close here to begin with, but couple that with going down the stairs in the dugout. I think he's all right.
Boy.
But this is a scary place at times.
Almost needed a wrench to get him out of there. Watch this.
Well, see again, right there, and he's going full speed and gets thrown even farther. Well, and you can't fault Nick Lewis for that. He's trying to make sure that Saunders doesn't intercept the football.
So that took about 10 seconds off the clock, so there should be one more play here. Again, barring penalty, 3 seconds left. 2nd and 10 for the Stampeders. After that 39-yard pass play to Wayne McGarity. That was the first time Tommy Jones went to Nick Lewis. That's Calgary's leading receiver. Expect to see more of 82 tonight. Jones scrambling out of the pocket. And that's the final play of the first quarter. Only 1 point on the board. Belongs to Calgary.
At the quarter, brought to you by Reebok, the only brand that hangs in every CFL locker.
Well, nice catch by McGarity there near the end of the first quarter because he did not have a strong game last week against BC. A couple of balls that he should have caught. But regardless, Tommy Jones making his 4th start as a pro compared to McManus, who's made about, what, 400. What do you see so far?
Well, you know, they're going to have to help Tommy Jones out with his running game. And it's not just about what he does with the offensive lineman. It's also a question of this guy right here, Joe Montford. He is right here coming in, and you're going to see him simply come in right here and not respect the quarterback. No one is designed to block Joe Montford here. If you see right here, Matt Dunnigan will do his quarterback a lot of good by letting him keep this ball and let him come out here. Now Joe Montford has to respond to that and respect the bootleg. And then, Chris, he cannot dive down and cut off the run play.
And what it does, it slows Joe Montford down, but also Tommy Jones has to develop that clock in his head where you either get rid of the ball or you take off and run with it. Now notice here, you've got a number of people that are in pass rush situations that could provide pressure on Tommy Jones. So his pre-snap read says, you know, I may not have a whole lot of time. So what happens is Donovan Carter on the X stunt pressures Jones, and he has to be able to feel that. And it's one of those aspects of being a quarterback that you only develop after massive reps during game conditions. If he gets that type of skill, it can be a huge advantage for the Calgary Stampeders. But right now for Hamilton, kicking game is killing them.
Yeah, no question about that, as Bourne comes off and Curry goes in, and it's not working so far. 1-0.
Well, here are our first quarter stats brought to you by Smirnoff Ice. Who knows where it'll go?
Well, not a whole lot to talk about in that first quarter there, Rod. Really kind of a mundane quarter with the Stampeders ahead 1-0. They had the turnover on the botched snap by Jason Curry, the Hamilton punter. It resulted in a Charlie Hebert missed field goal. But the good news is it is absolutely postcard night here in Hamilton.
Yeah, but you got to have some offense.
Well, we'll get some offense. We'll get some offense, but it's a great night. Beautiful shot there. Had a little thunderstorm earlier in the day, but it's blown through, and it's a great crowd here, and they, like us, are waiting for a little bit of offense.
Craig Yeast is back. Hebert and movement.
Procedure, Calgary 48, still third down.
That is Ryan Clark, number 48 for Calgary. On the special teams this time, Brian Clark, one of those guys that, boy, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers sure have missed this year. Oh, and a bobbled snap. Hebert nowhere to go, and he's brought down at his 32. Raynard Cox, one of the leaders in the CFL in tackles, with a huge tackle there, and that all again was a result of a bobbled snap.
And that was about the exact same spot where Jason Curry bobbled his snap for Hamilton earlier, and goodness gracious, this was a good snap. I mean, you can't put it in a better spot. What is going on with these kickers tonight?
Maybe it has to do with the dampness in the air, the humidity, or the sticky hands.
You're being too nice to them. They're not.
You don't like kickers, though.
Well, no, it's not about liking kickers. It's about professionals making professional plays. And neither one of them have made professional plays. I mean, that is routine.
That was, indeed. 34-yard line now. McManus, shotgun. Sideline. And open. Touchdown. DJ Fleck. Nice pass, nice catch, 6 points.
Well, we asked for a little bit of offense, and really the formation created this matchup. McManus had 4 receivers to his left to the wide side, 1 receiver backside. You know you're going to get one-on-one. DJ Flick, a 4-2 speedster on Nate Terry, absolutely blows by him. Perfect throw, perfect catch. The Ticats are on the board. But the formation, Rod, created that one-on-one matchup backside.
First major of the night. Curry squibs one through for the extra point, but there is a flag on the field.
So you look at Charlie Hebert's missed snap there, the turnover, and the Ticats 1 play later have a touchdown. So both teams points, although it's just 1 for Stampeders, have both come off other teams' turnovers tonight.
So the convert stands. Danny McManus and the Cats are on the board. Flick the touchdown. 7-1 in the second quarter. Mark Cuban is the benefactor, and he's also the Dallas Mavericks owner. He's also a multi-billionaire, or millionaire, I guess. Premiering September 13th down the dial on CTV. He's giving his money away. DJ Flick talking upstairs with the Ticats offensive coordinator.
call that police?
They're saying, yeah, we got something there.
Isn't it always funny how they want to get on that phone right after they do something good, and when they do something bad, they don't know where the phone is.
Shortish kickoff this time. Celicio Sanford brings it up to the 35-yard line for the Stampeders. Tommy Jones needs some offense now.
Well, that's not a lot of attempts. Now, the time of possession, if you recall, was only about 5 minutes for Calgary and 9.5 minutes for the Ticats, so they really didn't have the ball a whole lot. Only 2 first downs generated. But, you know, I know you want to establish Victor Reich in the running game, and I think Jock Climby alluded to that, and it's a great plan, and I like it too. But at some point in time, you're going to have to beat Hamilton through the air tonight, and Tommy Jones is going to have to throw more balls than 4 in one quarter.
7-1 Ticats. 4 receivers to his right. Looks right. Goes over the middle. There's Ike. And brought down by 3 Cats, including Donovan Carter. But Victor Ike has a first down out of the backfield. And that look is there for them tonight.
And it's a great call against a team that just loves to get upfield. Watch Hamilton get upfield like that, and then watch Victor Ike sneak right in there. You do the center screen against good pass rushing teams. Hamilton, they take the bait. They'll come upfield, and then you're off and running. And that is a super call on first down against a good pass rushing front 4.
Ike's had more success on the screen passes tonight than on the ground on the handoffs. Jones with 3 receivers to his right, looking over the middle for Montana, and it's picked off. It's picked off, and it's gone to the end zone. Jason Lamar has the touchdown. There is a flag on the field. And the Ticats defense scores.
Well, Joe Montford was shot out of a cannon right here. He just absolutely blows past Jeff Pilon, and Tommy Jones throws one he shouldn't have. Jason Lamar, you're going to see, he's right in the middle. He picks it off, one-handed, great catch. Second interception for the season. How about this second touchdown of the season? So the Ticats strike back-to-back quickly, and Montford, he is happy. He got the pressure, and his buddy got the pick for the TD. Teamwork.
Oh, I tell you. And they strike quickly. Offense scores, defense scores. Jason Lamar helps make it 14-1 Hamilton on Wendy's Friday Night Football. It's always a bane for any quarterback. Tommy Jones, his 4th start, back as a starter after missing last week. And this one into the hands of Jason Lamar.
Well, pressure can make you do silly things, and Tommy Jones, in hindsight, should not have thrown that football. It was pretty much a blind toss, and, you know, he knows that it's an afterthought, and, you know, he's probably saying on the sidelines here, you know, guys, I knew I shouldn't have done it. And points off turnovers, 14, it should be 14-1, guys. Calgary got their single on the fumbled snap on the punter. Jason
and I was shooting, but he grabbed me, baby.
What do you think?
He grabbed me. That's why I was complaining to the ref. That's why I got so hot.
14-1. Anyway, Jason Lamar, second interception, 2 touchdowns. How about that? So the Hamilton defense very opportunistic and very timely as the offense has kicked it into gear with a great throw to DJ Flick. And Junta Woodward, the starting left tackle for the Ticats, looks like he's going to be okay.
Jason Lamar is the Anwar Stewart of the Hamilton Tiger-Cats. Stewart, the lineman for the Montreal Alouettes, who's returned a couple of interceptions so far this season. And Lamar had one earlier for 41 yards, this one for 45. And it's 14-1 very quickly. Jason Curry, Celicio Sanford back for the Calgary Stampeders. We need to kick it into gear in a serious way. Stamps have lost 2 in a row. They've lost 7 games on the season as we now, the season started obviously, but now it really has started, now that we're heading down the stretch into the second half?
Well, you know, after this kickoff return, I'm going to tell you what the season really has started and what this game really does mean for Hamilton tonight.
Sanford. Penalty on the play.
We'll check the penalty in a second, but you know, if you look at Hamilton's season, you know, they're 4-5. They're looking at this game tonight, playing Calgary 2-7. You got to think, hey, this could be a win for us. 5-5.
First down.
Now you got Toronto playing out in BC tonight. They're 6-3, maybe a loss. Toronto goes 6-4. Hamilton 5-5. They're thinking a week from now, Labor Day Monday, they've got Toronto coming here. They're thinking, you know what, in 2 weeks we could be tied for second. So that's the mentality right now. They're ahead 14-1, and you know, talked to Rob Hitchcock about that before the game, and he said, we don't look past Calgary, but don't think we're not thinking what the scenario might be 2 weeks from now.
Here's a guy who has to get it going now. Jones. That one was on the ground for Andre Arlane. Tommy Jones struggling here. Did have the one reception, the big play to Wayne McGarity.
Well, and Matt Dunnigan has made a very strong commitment to Tommy Jones. He is our quarterback. His knee is not 100%. He's wearing the brace tonight, but it is good enough that he is the starter. And Matt Dunnigan has passed the torch from Marcus Crandall to Tommy Jones, and now he's got to fight through this. Because you're right, he's only had one really good positive play tonight in about a quarter and a half of football.
He needs one here. Jones again out of the backfield, a little lob toss. Probably good that Victor Ike dropped that because he would have been stopped for a loss. So the struggles continue for the Stampeders. And again, the second half begins. Matt Dunnigan said yesterday, we've wiped the slate clean. We're refocused, rededicated. It's the second half now. Hey, he said, who knows? We could go 9-0. They're going to have to be a lot better.
Well, they could. Look at Rob Hitchcock here. This is the beauty of this Hamilton defense now. He's not starting. He's an all-star middle safety, but he comes in. They call him the nickelback, but he comes in at linebacker. Donovan Carter moves to the nickelback, and that's the quality of player you have coming in to be your cover guy and a running back. I had no chance.
Craig Yeast at midfield, and he's tripped up. Craig Yeast, very good returner for the Hamilton Tiger-Cats. Last week in Ottawa, boy, I think he may have seen his life flash before his eyes as he was returning this kick. And Kyrie's Hebert just leveled him. And Hebert rightfully was tossed out of the football game. You can't have this happen. Hebert has obviously apologized since that incident and said, you know, he certainly didn't mean to hurt Yeast. Yeast, for his part, wasn't hurt on the play, but I'll tell you what, he's very lucky that he wasn't. That was last week against Ottawa. Yeast lining up wide right this time. McManus back to work. Quick toss to guess who? And Craig Yeast makes the catch. A guy who had to dust himself off after that hit by Kyrie's Hebert in Ottawa.
I knew he was going to hit me. He was running full speed. I could see him out of the corner of my eye. I just wanted to make sure that I caught the ball. And actually, if you see, once I caught the ball, I was prepared for the hit. So, I mean, things like that happen. He got ejected, and I was just laying on the ground and said, fingers, good, toes, good. Okay, let's get up.
Well, that time the hands weren't so good because the ball is intercepted the other way. Joey Bose through the hands of Craig Yeast, and so a turnover that the Calgary Stampeders absolutely need right now.
Well, here comes Craig Yeast right here. He's going to come across the middle, and Bose stays right on his hip. And when the ball is deflected right here up in the air, Bose's Johnny on the spot, and boy, oh boy, did the Stampeders ever need a break right now. I mean, this is a pretty good pattern here. You get it in full flight, you got a chance for some yardage, but he just took his eye off the football, and Joey Bose made the pick, and goodness, Calgary needs a good break, and they get one.
Jones looking upfield for Albert Connell, and almost picked right back. Donovan Carter was in the vicinity.
You know, Rod, just let's put a little final exclamation point on Craig Yeast and Kyrese Hebert drilling him in Ottawa. I had a chat with Greg Marshall before the game, and Joe Powell, the head coach of the Ottawa Renegades, called Greg and said, you know what, I know what my player did was the wrong thing to do, but I just want you to know he's not that kind of guy. It was maybe a heat of the moment, forgot the rule, whatever, but Greg, I want you to know that he's not a dirty player, he's not that kind of guy. So I thought that was pretty neat, you know, that the coaching fraternity gets together like that.
Well, it shouldn't surprise you with Joe Powell.
Not at all.
And a flag on the play, and it will be an interference call. Crowd reacts, and this will move the markers. Wayne McGarity, the intended receiver. Unless it goes against McGarity. And they will. It's Celicio Sanford, the interference call.
Contact on the receiver, Hamilton. First down.
Well, here's Sanford here, and as he comes down, you have a look. There's contact right there. That's a good call. I mean, you know, he's hanging on to the jersey there. That's a good call. You can't do that. So the Calgary Stampeders, they get the turnover, they get a first down, and they need to get something done here.
9 minutes to go in the second quarter. Only 1 point on the board. Flag on the play. A drill over the middle. Again for Albert Connell. Jones will pick himself up after being hit by Ed Randall-Belly.
Rod, we've got a lot of guys in this first half with short arms. So we got punters that aren't catching. We got receivers that aren't catching. I mean, Connell, that was a little behind it, but fellas, you got to make these catches. Help your quarterback out.
Didn't matter anyway, though. Look at this.
First down repeated.
Calgary is the most penalized team in the Canadian Football League.
You know what, Rod? If you can believe this, they average 16 penalties a game for 128 yards against. That's 128 yards you're giving up every game 16 times. I mean, that is phenomenal. If they stay at that rate, they're going to set a new league record, which is a dubious record at best.
Catch made, first of the night for the rookie. Impressive rookie, Nick Lewis, out of Southern Arkansas.
Well, I like Nick Lewis. 5 touchdowns so far. I mean, the catch to touchdown ratio is good. One touchdown every 8 catches. There you see it. And now he's got 41 with his first tonight, but he found the perfect spot in the zone. And, you know, that's sometimes the toughest thing to teach a young receiver, to be patient. When you find that hole, just sit down in that hole, and he did it quite nicely there. Matt
Dunnigan had a great line about Nick Lewis. He said when God pieced together Lewis, he had a few extra parts, and he gave them to Nick Lewis. He's got the great parts, he does. 14-1 Hamilton will step aside and come back. Under the lights at Ivor Wynne Stadium, Calgary Stampeders needing to turn the lights on their offense. Sold out crowd. Have they ever turned football around here? New ownership in Hamilton, Bob Young and his team. What a remarkable turnaround. And also in the win column, that helps. Remember, this was a 1-17 football team a year ago. Stampeders on the move. It's 2nd and 3. Jones behind center. Flag on the play. Ike with a first down, but was there some motion on the line? Might be a procedure call.
You know what's interesting, though, Rod? Offside Hamilton, so they get first down regardless. But what's really interesting is the offensive
Offside.
philosophy.
Hamilton, number 2. First down.
Carter with the offside, but a month ago with John Jenkins as offensive coordinator, 2nd and 2, they were throwing.
Oh, they threw every time.
You know, they did. And I remember doing a game in Montreal where I was very critical of that. I said, you know, at some point in time, you just can't run an offense like that. So now they would have had the first down on the ground regardless.
Yeah, the run and shoot fizzled for John Jenkins. First down, Stampeders. Jones with lots of time this time. Fires. And Celicio Sanford in and out of his hands as he's knocked close to the television cart. You mentioned playing here at Iverwin Stadium, and every time you do a game here, you talk about those the cozy confines. It's kind of like the Fenway Park of the CFL. It is so small that the area from sideline to the bleachers.
Well, you don't get a bad seat here. I mean, it's the sight lines in this stadium are terrific, and it is very exciting to see a full house too. Very exciting. There's the number, almost 29,000. Hats off to you fans in Hamilton. That's terrific.
Throwing down again for Jones. Look out! Is rocked downfield, and Tommy Jones, I'll tell you what, is lucky to get up this time. He was absolutely crushed.
Well, Augustine Barranquilla, number 39, who comes in spot duty at linebacker, he makes the play finally. Now, initially, Tommy Jones had lots of time to throw, but this Ticat secondary tonight is tenacious. You won't see it here. This develops. Barranquilla, number 39, will come into your screen right about now, and he steps up, kaboom! And as Tommy Jones steps up into the pocket, Barranquilla is there to wait for him. What a hit.
That was a Tommy Jones sandwich. The backup tonight for the Stampeders. Remember, Marcus Crandall is banged up. It's Michael Souza. Charlie Hebert slipped as he got that away. Craig Yeast lets it go. And it will bounce out of bounds. Charlie Hebert has done all the scoring tonight for the Stampeders. That's not a good sign. They trail 14-2. Well, hard-hitting night. Augustine Barranquilla, one of the big shots here so far. Cats back on the field. Troy Davis there, Mr. Reliable. Close to a first down.
Well, a week ago against the Ottawa Renegades, Troy Davis was simply outstanding, and those were the numbers on the whole night, but he had something like 23 carries for 127 yards on first down alone, and that is great yardage to set up the entire offense from that. You know, 2 times in his college career at Iowa State, over 2,000 yards rushing. I mean, that is phenomenal. He's got great credentials.
Well, this should put him into first place right now in the CFL rushing race, although there is a flag on the play. You know, everybody talks about the offenses and the weapons in the CFL, and certainly all the great receivers, as here's the penalty call. But, you know, can't forget.
Holding Hamilton 68, still second down.
David Hack, veteran lineman with the hole. You can't forget about some of the running backs in the league right now. It's going to be quite a battle between guys like Josh Ronick, Troy Davis, and Charles Roberts as the season progresses. Don't forget about Kenton Keith in Saskatchewan. Troy Davis now is the leading rusher in the CFL with 721 yards and counting. Ronick second, and of course Ottawa plays Sunday. Flag again on the play, and almost picked off again.
Scott Coe had a great chance to pick that ball off. I mean, he was just zeroing in. The last time these teams met, he picked one off and took it to the house for a touchdown. But Scott Coe, you're going to see him come from... Oh, he was in the chase mode. Just a poor throw by Danny McManus. One of the reasons why Danny's given up so many interceptions. He had a guy open, but just threw that about 5 yards behind Craig East. When you get Craig East matched up on a linebacker, you gotta hurt somebody with that matchup. Scott Coe is a great player, but he's not fast enough to stay with the Craig East.
Again, a moot point, however, because the penalty was against Calgary's Wes Robertson. Offside call.
But it was a missed opportunity because, you know.
McManus. Incomplete pass. Danny McManus has thrown a lot of interceptions this season. Team that has not given up many sacks, but of course that is because Danny lets it go so quickly.
Let's throw that out, because, you know, I look at statistics, and do they tell me a story? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But let's look at Hamilton's offensive line. Only given up 7 sacks, best in the league, but yet the quarterback's thrown more interceptions than anybody else. I mean, is he, you know, trying to help them constantly, you know, with their sacks, or is it just one of those things? I don't know the answer.
Be a little combination of both. Curry now from his 25. High snap. time, a wobbler that will go out of bounds the Stampeders sideline. 5:20 to go in the second quarter. It's 14-2 Hamilton. Calgary Stampeder offense back at work from the 38-yard line. Tommy Jones has given up an interception tonight that went for a touchdown. Has not had many big plays. Ike on the handoff is wrapped up and brought down by the guy who got that touchdown earlier, big number 44, Jason Lamar.
Jason Lamar has done a nice job in the middle tonight. Of course, as Rod mentioned, an interception for TD, but he has done a pretty nifty job at filling the holes. They try to run a tackle trap that time, and they get a good initial block, but the middle linebacker, Jason Lamar, stuck his face right in there and held it to just a short gain. Very impressed with his aggressive play so far in this first half.
Boy, a guy who has never given up in his career. He's been on the practice roster for the Ticats for a few years, getting a chance to play and now shining. Jones lets it fly to the sidelines, and again tight coverage, this time on former Ticat Mike Juhas, and Adriano Belli, the kissing bandit, one more time in tight on Tommy Jones.
Here's the problem with this play though, Rod. Watch this. All the offensive linemen, they're going to submarine and chop the Hamilton front four. Watch this. It's a three-step. This is one of those ones when you chop, you better get rid of it fast. But he holds on and goes deep downfield. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. When you ask your lineman to chop the defense, it says you're committed to throwing it in 3 steps. Tommy Jones hung in there forever and took the hit as a result.
Charlie Hebert again. Almost had it blocked. Yeast again. Down to the 15. And that's where the Ticats will be back at work inside 4 minutes here at Iverwin Stadium. You're watching Wendy's Friday Night Football on TSN. Hamilton Tiger-Cats 14, Charlie Hebert 2. A couple of singles tonight for the Calgary Stampeders. That's all that their offense can muster. Flag against Hamilton on the return. So near the goalpost, Danny McManus. 7th season in Hamilton. Former Bomber and Lion and Eskimo. Was with Matt Dunnigan in Edmonton, remember, a long time ago.
So double tight end for Hamilton to try to get some breathing room.
Boy, here's some room. Oh, a couple of spins. Exciting runner, Troy Davis.
Well, and it's no secret when Hamilton's lined up in double tight ends tonight, this is what they've done. They've played smash mouth football, and it's going to come right at you here. Cut back right there, and good block by the left guard, Tim Baker, and Troy Davis saw it, made the cut back, and got a much-needed first down. Now you take out the tight ends, and you can put in your regular offense. Good strategy.
Troy Davis, CFL rushing leader. Again, Ronick plays Sunday. McManus out of the pocket, fires, catch made, and a flag on the play, a roughing call on Brian Clark after Yeast had made the catch. And that is costly.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't know. I got to see that one again. You know, Craig Yeast is so dangerous. Now, if he gets up off the ground, I mean, he didn't try to drill his head off there. He's just trying to pin him.
Unnecessary roughness. Calgary 48.
I got a little problem with that one.
All he had to do was touch him, though.
This isn't a pillow fight, you know? I mean, it's not a pillow fight. This is serious business. I mean, this is full contact, you know?
I hear you.
I don't know. I thought, yeah, probably a penalty, but I didn't like it. What can I say?
You got your game face on.
No,
here.
I don't. I just thought, you know, hey, give the guys a break.
Davis spinning again at the line of scrimmage. It is the 3-minute warning here in the second quarter. Hamilton Tiger-Cats, thanks to a minute and a half where they scored 2 touchdowns, lead the way for Greg Marshall. 2:45 until halftime. These guys take over. Dave Randorf, Chris Schultz, and Jock Climby. Wendy's at the half. Coming up, don't forget the Argos and the Lions, second half of our doubleheader. Wendy's Friday Night Football. Here in Hamilton, it's 14-2. Ticats. Touchdown on a pass to DJ Flick. And then an interception return from Jason Lamar. The scoring done in 92 seconds. Here in the second quarter. 2nd and 9. McManus. High snap. Brings it down. Sits in the pocket and fires a strike over the middle to Mike Moriali. Mike Moriali's come up with a couple of big catches last week against Ottawa. Dropped one. Had a catch and then fumbled the football. It turned out that it wasn't really a big factor in the ball game, but Moriali, who's really done it all in his CFL career.
Well, he's had 3 catches.
In the 99 Grey Cup.
Sorry, 3 catches tonight, so he's got 44, and he's a possession guy, and he's just done everything they've asked of him this year, and I think he's having a fantastic season.
Over the middle again. This time East has it, and down to the 10, to the 5. He wasn't dropping that one.
Well, this is the scary thing about Craig Yeast. You know, he averages almost 22 yards a catch, but he can do it on a 5-yard catch. Here he comes across the middle. There he is right there. Keep it going. Nobody can stay with him. John Grace, the middle linebacker, tries to, but this guy has got some serious speed, and a 5-yard catch turns into a huge gain.
Craig Yeast, who leads the CFL in combined yardage. Look at that, 33-yarder from the 6-yard line. Ticats putting up some big numbers in this second quarter. Davis down to the 1.
You know what's so tough about this play when you got a great fullback leading for you? Here comes Radlin right here. Watch the collision on the outside. Is it stuff? No, Davis just bounces it to the outside, but defensively, you know, you play it pretty tough. I mean, there's George White. He can't play it much better than that, and Davis still gets positive yardage. I mean, that's tough on the defense when you got Radlin just drilling guys like that.
So 2nd and goal. And over the middle. Touchdown, Julian Radlin.
And you know what I like, Rod? You know, they give him a little bit of candy on that drive. He makes the big block to get them down to the 1. Then he gives him a little candy and says, you know what? You're going to get the touchdown. And I love that. I really do.
Well, so does Julian Radlin.
Now, it'd be so easy to say, okay, one more time, you lead and let Troy get the touchdown, but that's a little candy for a guy that works really hard.
Great combination here. Radlin, power back, Davis, the finesse back. And boy, the Hamilton Tiger-Cats have blown right back into this game. Second quarter. 21 points they piled up here. 21-2 Ticats.
Well, you know, Craig Marshall's had a very interesting rookie season as head coach. I mean, a year ago, he's coaching the McMaster Marauders, and think about it. They play 8 games, and then the playoffs start. Well, he's in his 10th game tonight, and I asked him about before the game, what's the biggest difference coming to the pros? He said, well, we'd be in playoffs now, but here I'm just past the midway point. And he said, now I know how the young guys feel when they come into the pros. And, you know, around week 12, they're thinking, well, it's about the end of the season. You still got 6 more games to go. So he said that was one of the biggest kind of mental differences for him as a coach.
Sanford again, trying to burst outside. And brought down by Rob Hitchcock. A minute 18 to go. Matt Dunnigan and the Calgary Stampeders need some momentum, need a little burst of confidence here to take into the locker room. Otherwise, it's going to be another very long night for the Stamps.
Well, he's a very positive person, and you know, he's one of these guys that says, you know, you do learn by losing, but he said, I think we're at the point where we've learned enough. It's time to move forward. And you know, 21-2, it's been a pretty flat second quarter for Tommy Jones, but if he could get something, there are his numbers, and they're very meager tonight, but if he could get something here to finish off the half with 1:18 to go, you never know.
Has some time. No one upfield. Nice catch made, however, right there by Albert Connell, and they need a lot more of that.
Well, the Ticats secondary has been relentless. I mean, they have been chasing receivers and staying on them like glue tonight, and finally Albert Connell got open, but, count how long it took for him to get open, because Jones, he's got plenty of time here. Ball should be gone. Now he buys a little extra time, but my goodness, that was a long time to complete a pass. Ticat secondary is so tough tonight.
Exactly on the midfield stripe. Throwing again, time again, and caught by Mike Juhas.
I think that's the first ball that he's caught tonight, and he is the Mike Morale of the Stampeders offense. He is a possession receiver. He only averages about 12 yards a catch, like a Mike Morale, but he's a good target, and when they need somebody to go over the middle, he's sure capable.
Fourth year. He did miss 2 years of play. He was a former draft pick, second round of the Ticats. Played 15 games in 2000 for the Tabbies, Mike Juhas, who goes out wide left this time. 40 seconds to go. A few plays here for Jones to take the Stampeders to the end zone. And a flag on the play, and a time count violation. So that doesn't help.
I mean, that's a killer in the hurry-up offense when you have a time count violation. I mean, they had problems with that last week, hurry-up Marcus Crandall, and now Tommy Jones just not 100% comfortable in moving his team quickly down the field. I mean, Lord knows you practice this stuff. You practice hurry-up every day.
Lets it fly, and it's incomplete. Knocked down again. They didn't look like they were coming at first, and then they were all coming, and Tim Cheatwood was right in on Tommy Jones.
Well, Tommy Jones, for the most part tonight, has had reasonable time to throw. You just have to throw all kinds of bouquets to that Hamilton secondary, because that's enough time right there. I mean, Cheatwood gets in, and he gets the pressure. But, you look downfield, the coverage has just been spectacular. Well, maybe that's one of the reasons why, too. That was a pretty good grab on Nick Lewis.
And that means 3rd and 10, another 2 and out. And Charlie Hebert has been the MVP tonight for the Calgary Stampeders. He's been on the field a lot. Too much, as a matter of fact, for Matt Dunnigan and the Stamps.
Yeah, and there's enough of a wind that he just can't, Matt Dunnigan can't take a chance on a field goal attempt. It's a kind of a cross breeze, but, if I'm Matt, and I think what he did was take a timeout, let's discuss this thing, because it would be, a 50-yarder just inside the 50, and puts a lot of pressure on your coverage team, though, because you're in tight, and you got Craig Geese back there, so.
That's what they're going to do. Michael Souza, the holder's coming up, the backup quarterback.
Well, I think at this stage, 21-2, I take a shot at it. If my kicker tells me, Coach, I've got the range. Now, if he tells me it's iffy, then maybe you do punt. But obviously in the chat over there, Hebert said, look, I've got enough leg.
Hebert's longest this year, 44.
Do you see these, sorry, Rod, you see these stripes up here on top of the goalposts? They are blowing back towards the kicker. So he is kicking into a bit of a breeze.
This one from the 49, unless it's faked. It's not. The kick is up. A line drive. Is it enough? Yes, it is. Longest field goal of the season, and some rough stuff afterwards. But that turned out to be a good call for Matt Dunnigan and the Stampeders league.
You know what, Rod? I think that was good coaching by Matt Dunnigan, and not a lot of great things have happened for them in the first half. But you know what? He had the punt team in and said, you know what? Let's think about this. We got a timeout. Let's talk about it. And his kicker obviously gave him the green light that, you know what, Coach, I can make that. So that's good coaching.
49-yard field goal from Hebert. It's one of the longest in the league this season. 23 seconds left.
Well, what will Danny do? He does have the wind at his back, and knowing him, he might just air one out here. He's got a team that can really go vertical in a hurry. He's got 3 receivers that can all get it done.
McManus, and almost had that one intercepted too. That was into tight coverage. Tunkara was down there. Former Calgary Stampeder, Tunkara.
There's Tunkara on the outside now. They run a bit of a out and up to him and really didn't fool anybody. And William Fields actually had a pretty good shot to pick that ball off, which is nothing new for Hamilton.
No.
They do give the ball away the odd time. In fact, have done it 38 times now this season so far, which is far and above anyone else in the league.
Keeps it on the ground. Takes a couple of seconds off the clock. This should be upcoming, the final play before halftime. You never know. Hold your horses, because there could be a flag.
Well, now, I think Matt Dunnigan used his timeout to check with Charlie Hebert, I'll get it out, Charlie Hebert, the kicker. But if he didn't, this is where you would call one with 3rd down here and force Hamilton to do something other than just, well, obviously he used it because they're going to just run the clock down. That's what I'd answered, Dad. See, I answered my own questions. It's amazing, isn't it?
It's great.
Just amazing.
You never lose an argument.
Ask myself a question, get an answer.
Get a good answer.
This is pretty easy.
Well, I'll tell you what. Calgary Stampeders are going to have to find an answer for their offense in the second half. They have not been able to move the ball. Craig East and the Tiger-Cats have. What a second quarter. 21 points for the Cats. They've been all over Tommy Jones. The monster Montford's been right in there on every play. 21-5 Tabbies.
All right, thanks a lot, Rod. You leave, take a breather. We'll take it for from here. Dave, Chris, and Jock here. So way to go to Charlie Hebert, by the way. The Calgary Stampeders really needed that. But 3 touchdowns for the Hamilton Tiger-Cats in that quarter, 2 directly off of Stamps turnovers. Hamilton, Jock, they really wanted to go out and put a good performance in front of their home fans because they've had great crowds all season. They haven't been able to perform in front of them. They felt embarrassed almost for some of the games they played, and so far so good tonight.
There's nothing worse than playing badly in front of a huge crowd at home, and they're playing well tonight. There's one thing that I would do even more of in the second half, and that's run the football, because Calgary is undersized tonight. They've only got 2 down D linemen, Napastuck and Fleming right here. And I want to show you a run play here where they go with tight ends, and they blow these guys off the line. And first of all, let's have a look at Carl Coulter, how he takes care of Brian Clark in the middle. We're going to roll it ahead here. He's going to chip down on Fleming, give his right guard a little hand, and now he's got Brian Clark. Gives a little tug maybe, but anyway, gets them out of the way. There comes Troy Davis. Now we'll back it up, and we'll have a look at how Baker handles Napastuck right here. And it's his job simply to clear the hole for Troy Davis, and he literally blows the big man right out of the screen. When you can take care of the big guys up front, and there's only 2 of them, Chris, wouldn't you love to play against a bunch of guys who are 230 pounds?
Jock, I would live for that moment. I like little people. I
yum
like
yum,
blood. Yum yum, I always say. You know, both of these quarterbacks have not had great games, but I think Tommy Jones really has been let down on a couple instances by his fellow players. See Victor right in the middle of your screen. He is looking right at Jason Lamar right now. And right now, Jason Lamar is saying to him, Victor, I'm coming to physically punish you, which means when the ball is released, he's not even looking at the football. He's worried about the collision. So what happens? Lamar adjusts, and it's a pick on the play, and it ends up being an immense play in terms of a change of momentum and a touchdown for the Hamilton Tiger-Cats. And it happens on the other side of the football field, too. Watch Danny McManus here. Nice little crossing pattern. Craig East does not get his head around. He has to understand that he is a primary receiver based on the amount of pressure that McManus gets. Quarterback is a tough position to play in this league because you're so dependent on other people doing exactly what they're supposed to. And I tell you guys, both of these quarterbacks, if their teams got together, they'd have better statistical performances.
You know, you talked about Wes Robertson moving up to D-line. It's because of a lot of injuries for Calgary. And one of them is John Grace. We've really noticed him tonight. Now he's really limping on that ankle.
He's limping everywhere, Dave.
Yeah, he missed last week because of an ankle. He's toughing it out tonight. But he is part of the Rhoda poll question this evening. At the halfway point of the season, Who do you think is the top defensive player in the CFL? Those were the choices. You logged on and you voted, and it was fairly close. But Anwar Stewart of the Montreal Alouettes gets
Don't get Stewart mad.
No,
now.
I don't want any part of that.
At the Half, brought to you by Wendy's, the official hamburger of the CFL. Wendy's, it's better here.
Last night in Winnipeg, it was a wet, ugly night at Canada Stadium. Anthony Calvillo didn't seem to mind, though, as he just fires one out to Jermaine Copeland. He does the rest, 9-3 for the visitors. Bombers respond, though, and it's the former Alouette. Look at Keith Stokes. He's been their best player for the last few weeks. They had a whole bunch of guys miss an 81-yard punt return for a touchdown and ties it at 9. Then Kevin Glenn came in to replace Kahari Jones. Hello, Dwayne Butler came clean and hammered him, and then Troy Westwood misses his second field goal of the night, and this one's going all the way back as well. Ezra Landry, juking and jiving. He did this against Toronto. He does it against Winnipeg, and I'll tell you what, Westwood was doing a little bit of yapping before that game, pointing fingers at some members of the Alouettes that I'm sure were enjoying his performance last night. But the Bombers as a whole look terrible. I got the numbers down here. 111 yards net offense.
Whoa.
138 yards through the air. It was just they're going to have big-time changes, I'm thinking.
Well, the conditions of the game, Dave, I mean, it really was a brutal football game, and it just illustrates how much the kicking game is so critical to success, because with great kicking game, with great coverage, great returns, and great plays, you're going to win a lot of your close games. And if there was one play that meant everything, it was this return by Ezra Landry. But remember, this is against the field goal cover team. So you've got your 5 offensive linemen, and you've got a holder and a kicker, 7 players. And it's such an issue in the CFL football right now, because you can't put a linebacker or a defensive back as a guard or a tackle, because you put a 285-pound defensive lineman, you're going to get that kick blocked. So it's a huge catch-22 that special teams coaches have to find and answer out, or you're going to see more plays like that for touchdowns, Jock.
Yeah, and this is one of those games where special teams was huge. I mean, there was like 2 games within a game here, and you saw the Ezra touchdown, and we had Stokes with a touchdown, missed field goals by Westwood. So there was that aspect of the game. But for Winnipeg, the biggest aspect of their game offensively was their inability to protect the quarterback. And, Kahari Jones got pulled again, and this time he got pulled at halftime. And, it wasn't necessarily his fault. He had bad snaps to deal with, and he had this kind of rush all night. Kevin Glenn, as soon as he steps into the ball game, he is getting hammered. So unless you protect the quarterback, you can't evaluate them. And so this is a situation where they got to figure out what's going on with that offensive line before they can start figuring out who to play at quarterback.
Well, that's why this game tonight is so important for Calgary. With Winnipeg slipping and sliding around at 3-6, Calgary can tie them later tonight on Wendy's Friday Night Football. This should be a good one. There's Casey Pritters. He's getting ready to face the Toronto Argonauts. And the Lions are red hot, having won 5 in a row. But the Argonauts coming off a very interesting game last week where Michael Bishop looked pretty good. Now he's got to prove that he can put 2 games together.
Absolutely. But I think for the Argonauts also, this is one of those games where if they don't win it, then the priorities have to change, because Montreal's 9-1. And the Argonauts, if they lose, they will be 6-4. And at the start of the season, their number 1 goal is we've got to get Montreal at home if we're going to beat that football team. And at 6-4, Montreal 9-1, and Montreal's already 1-2. It's going to be awfully hard to do. So I think it's absolutely critical they come out, play their A game, just so they can keep within striking distance of these Alouette football players, because that's motivating. When you have a chance to play at home in the Eastern Final, all of a sudden, the games mean a lot. It's important to players to play meaningful games.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been looking forward to this game for quite a while now, Chris, because, you got, first of all, the defense that is number 1 in the league in terms of points given up, and you're playing against the offense that scored the most points. And so it's a great matchup. But you know what? Both of those units, I think, are going to play well. So this game, I feel, is really going to be decided when you flip it over. How is Toronto's offense going to do against BC's defense? Obviously, a lot rests on that young quarterback, Bishop. I'm not convinced we saw the real Bishop last week, because he wasn't playing against necessarily a strong defense in the Bombers. Tonight will be his first big test.
Yeah, it'll be definitely going from night to day in terms of the caliber of defense that he will face, at least the way they're playing right now, Winnipeg and BC. But we'll see. It's funny. They actually said we weren't even sure if Bishop could put it together. That's what his teammates were saying. Looking forward to seeing that one later tonight.
This day in the CFL, brought to you by Sport Check, proud supporter of the CFL.
August 27th, 1988. Now, Bruno and the Ticats taking on the Ottawa Rough Riders, and Hamilton strikes early. Mike Kerrigan swings it out for running back Martin Sutton, who dives into the majors. A 10-0 tabby. For the Riders, get that one back. Todd Dillon can't find a receiver, so he busts up the middle for the 5-yard touchdown run. Ottawa trailed at the half 26-14. Second half, all Hamilton. Kerrigan hits Rocky DiPietro in the end zone. Ticats score big and win this one 56-24. Gonna see Al Bruno up and down those sidelines again, huh?
Yeah.
Halftime numbers brought to you by Molson Canadian. I am Canadian.
Well, David, from the obvious and unobvious network, first, points off turnovers, 14 for the Hamilton Tiger-Cats. Obvious reason for why they are playing so well. But look at the rushing yards, 59-22. That makes a big difference in terms of time of possession and just the physical aspect of the game, David.
That is Chris Schultz reporting for the Obvious Network. Here's Claude Fagg talking to Greg Marshall.
With Tiger-Cats head coach Greg Marshall. Greg, the guys upstairs alluding to the fact that the team is starting to resemble a bit the team that started 3-0 this season. A good game in Ottawa last week, a pretty good first half. What's your assessment?
Yeah, a great half. I think we're getting better all the time. It takes time. I thought our defense had an outstanding half, and if they do that again the second half, we're in good shape.
We were alluding to the great crowd tonight, sold out over 28,000. I know some of the players have taken it upon themselves to try to get the fans a win because you haven't been able to do that at home this year.
You know what? It's really important. It really is. Anytime you get a crowd like this, you want to play well in front of them, and it's a tribute to what Mr. Young and David Sove have done, and it's been a fun night so far.
All right, you're halfway there. Good luck.
Thank you.
Fun night so far, and here's the third touchdown of that second quarter. Julian rattling the big boy up and over and in.
Friday Night Football in Hamilton, dominated so far by the Tiger-Cats. So let's go down to Claude Fagg.
With Stampeders head coach Matt Dunnigan. Matt, I know you said you want to wipe the slate clean for the second half, maybe the same for the first half.
There you go. Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, well, special teams miscue, defensive big play, offensive boneheaded play. Got a receiver sitting down in zone, or in man coverage, and causes a pick. Just got to be cleaner. We broke down in all three phases of the game in the first half, and you can't do that against anybody in the CFL and expect to come out on top. But we'll shore it up in the second half.
All right, good luck.
Thank you very much. See y'all.
Well, Matt Dunnigan, head coach, GM, offensive coordinator. He has a lot of titles. What he does not have so far in his rookie season, a lot of wins. And in that first half, his team did not have a lot of momentum. In fact, snuffed out seriously. Charlie Hebert doing all the scoring, a couple of singles and a field goal.
Yeah, he did. They just didn't have a whole lot of opportunities. I thought the Ticats secondary played as well as they have all season long against these Calgary Stampeder receivers.
Dondre Gilliam has a hole up the middle, brings it out. Pretty good yardage to start. 44-yard line for Danny McManus and the Ticats, who in a short spurt in that second quarter took the life out of the Stampeders.
Well, Danny McManus, his first half was excellent half. He only threw 16 balls. If he keeps on that pace, 32. Last week, 31, because they had a great running attack as well. And I like that for Danny, and his numbers were pretty decent. Tommy Jones, on the other hand, 7 of 16 won't get it done in this league. He knows that. I think, he got some pressure in that first half, but for the most part, I thought he had enough time to throw. I think the Hamilton secondary just did a terrific job.
He is definitely going to have to get it going in this second half, where the Stampeders are going to suffer their 8th loss. Troy Davis saw a lot of football in the first half, and he does every game for the Tiger-Cats.
Yes, he does. And, it's funny because a few years ago they had no running game at all, and slowly they've evolved towards it. And, as Greg Marshall said, it's a commitment to try to run the football. Now, not every game there you saw what they did in the first half when they did have the football, but every game you can't run it. I mean, sometimes defenses are just going to play tough and you can't do it. But nevertheless, you still have to try to make a commitment to run, and they've done it and they've been successful.
2nd and 7 to Yeast. Craig Yeast has a first down. Boy, showing you why he's one of the top receivers in the CFL. Again, the #1 man in the league in combined yardage, Craig Yeast.
And that's a matchup that the Ticats are going to win every time. Craig Yeast against Scott Coe. And here's Here's Yeast out. He works to the inside, back to the outside against Scott Coe, the linebacker. Now, again, I said earlier, Coe's a terrific linebacker, good young Canadian linebacker, but Hamilton is going to win that matchup every single time, and if Danny McManus sees it, that's where he's going to go time and time again.
What a weapon Craig Yeast is. Now on the Stampeders side of the field.
Ooh, what a block.
Yeah, doing it again. This time only for a couple of yards.
Well, Julian Redlin again with a cartwheeling block out in front, but Scott Coe filled the hole nicely. Hamilton showing a lot of different looks on offense tonight, and I like that. They've done the double tight end, and they've had success with it. They got to manufacture a first down deep out of their own territory with double tight end, and you know, they go quads, they go double tight end, they go just straight eye back. I mean, they give you all the looks, and they execute well off all of them.
That was Troy Davis in the first half, has already had a couple of carries here in the third quarter. Shotgun McManus over the middle, and head on and tripped up is Mike Moriali. The ball is fumbled, but the official says that Mike Moriali was already down. Short of a first down, however.
Well, Ticats have had success with that, whether it be Craig Yeast or Mike Moriali just dragging across the middle and having someone chase you. That time, Calgary only rushed 4, sat in the zone. So Milo Lewis, number 25, was just reading it and waiting for it, and much better defense against that crossing pattern to stay with the zone than have somebody try to run with these receivers.
So the Stampeders, defense does the job. Jason Curry will kick it away. Nick Lewis back to return this time. Calgary needing a serious surge here in this second half. Down 21-5. Curry angling it out of bounds, but it goes to Lewis. Tripped up at the 18-yard line. Marcus Spencer again in on the tackle. Tommy Jones back to work in a moment. So the Calgary Stampeders, trailing by 16, did not have a lot of success in that first half. From their own 19, credit the Ticats defense. Did a lot of this last week against Ottawa too, put a lot of pressure on Kerry Joseph. Here they come again. Wide open on the far side of the field. Wayne McGarity knocked out of bounds, but there's a penalty flag on the play. And you wonder if it's going against Calgary. It might be a holding call or something on the line of scrimmage. Looks like it may be coming back. Garrity limps off. Wayne McGarrity's lost that visor. He's always worn that dark shield. He's taking it off here tonight.
Well, when you see this graphic here, it tells you a lot about the season that the Stampeders have had with 150 penalties. Most of the season that translates to about 16 a game. Now they get one in their favor.
There was no infraction on the play. The ball was cut behind the line of scrimmage. First down.
So McGarity, looks like they're looking at his right leg. Cut off the tape, and that's not a good sign for the Stampeders, one of their dangerous offensive players. The Stampeders on a no call have the ball up to the 32-yard line. 4 receivers to the left of Jones. Looking left. Now has to go right and has room. And he'll try to get out of bounds. And he does.
Not gracefully, but he does. I mean, that was a good decision by Tommy Jones that time. I mean, again, I think his offensive line gave him enough time to get rid of the football, but the Ticats just have had an unbelievable night. They should be gone right there. So his offensive line did a good job, and now, you know, he's not the fastest guy around by any stretch, but he averages almost 10 yards a carry when he chooses to run, and he makes a lousy play turn into a nice positive game.
Former Hoosier from Indiana. Big guy, 6 feet 4 inches. 2nd and 2 yards. But he's throwing in the pocket, over the middle, caught, and Mike Juhas. And a little extra tackle there will mean a roughing call, it looks like, against Hamilton. Did they get the hand on the face mask, maybe? And this will move the football even further.
Major fall, unnecessary roughness. Hamilton 78. First down.
Adriano Belli.
Well, what the Ticats really want to do, Rod, is be disciplined here. When you've got a team down 21-5, a struggling team like the Stampeder offense, you want to make them really earn their points, earn their way into the end zone. Don't give them free stuff. I mean, they're going to catch some balls, but make them try to have to put 8 to 10 plays together to score, and usually the law of averages will be in the defense's favor.
One of the better drives for the Stampeders here tonight into Ticat territory. Blitz on. And the ball is incomplete. Out of the backfield was Victor Reich. In the backfield, once again knocked on his can, was Tommy Jones.
Well, Augustin Baranecchia, did I say that right? Baranecchia?
I'll give that to you.
He was right on the receiver as well, and when he's played spot duty tonight, he's been all around the football. Let's listen to this one.
You know, he's jacked up here tonight. Played in Calgary with the Dinosaurs. 4th round pick. First team the Ken West last year for linebacker. Having a good game here tonight. 2nd and 10. Jones. Under pressure again out of the backfield and off target once again to Mike Juhas, and once again here comes the kicking team. And
well, Matt Dunnigan talked about they had to shore it up in the second half and execute better. I mean, you know, if you're throwing behind receivers like that, you know, you're just not executing because the blitz was coming. Pretty good matchup underneath with Mike Juhas. Just didn't make the throw.
Again, under Tommy Jones' tutelage here tonight, they haven't been able to get anything going. Will they make a quarterbacking change at some point? Michael Souza, Marcus Crandall. Crandall, however, again, is injured. Back to the goal line into the end zone, and Craig Yeast watches it bounce, picks it up, went out of the end zone and then back into the end zone.
I don't know how they're going to call this. He was desperately hoping that he could just give up the single, and I think that's what he did. He did not come out past the goal line, so a smart play by Craig Yeast.
A Bears been busy here tonight. Ticats leading 21-6 on Wendy's Friday Night Football. It's quite the way you would teach the kids or diagram a punt return. Let's take a look.
Well, did he come out of the end zone? We're going to freeze it right there, and no question. Look at that. And you're going to see some reaction from Charlie Hebert, the punter, who came down, and you won't see it now, but he was adamant that he'd come out. And that's a big play. I mean, you get 2 points and you get the ball back. Now they just get a single, and McManus has it. So.
But it's Hamilton football. Pump fake. McManus wide open is DJ Flick. The Calgary Stampeders bit on the pump fake, and McManus fired to Flick.
Out and up to DJ Flick, and they had William Fields biting all over it. You'll see the pump fake. It freezes there at the freeze, and a great out and up. Fields beaten badly on the play, and had Danny put a little more airtime on that with Flick's speed, he's 4'2". They'd have never caught him. Sometimes as a quarterback, you just want to make sure you just don't overthrow it. You got a freebie there, and I'm sure that's what Danny was thinking.
There's David, DJ Flick. Troy Davis fighting for some yardage, but really gets back to the line of scrimmage. Very impressed with the Hamilton Tiger-Cats the last couple of weeks, and they are indeed starting to look a lot more like that team that burst out of the chute to start this season 3-0.
And I think it's all based on having a running game, Rod. I really do. For years, Hamilton had no running game. It was a joke. They'd average about 40 yards a game. But now they give defenses a lot of things to think about, and they've got to think about Troy Davis. If I'm a linebacker, I'm sure thinking about Julian Radlin coming and blocking on me every play.
Big time, big time. 2nd and 11. McManus firing to Archie Anderson, and almost picked off by William Fields.
And that's what you can do when you're in a zone defense. And I think Calgary's been best in the secondary when they've played zone tonight. They've read patterns quite well and reacted when the ball is in the air, and that's exactly what William Fields did right there. Amerson down the seam. Fields leaves his deep third of the field, reacts, and should have maybe made an interception.
And so this brings out, again, Jason Curry with Craig Yeast holding. So Curry pressed into kicking duty earlier today when Jamie Moran went out with injury. This one will come from the 42. Curry missed earlier tonight. Kick is up, and he's missed another. Stampeders will give up a point. But the Stampeders need a lot more points. They trail by 16.
You bet.
Yeah, thumbs up to the fans of Hamilton. They have come out here tonight. This is a sellout in a non-Labor Day game, although the Labor Day Classic's coming up.
And it's going to be a, it's great to say, it's going to be a tough ticket.
Well, tough one tonight, too. Beautiful night at Hamilton. Strike that time. Nick Lewis on his feet. Big yardage. Lewis just hammered by some Tiger-Cats. Adriano Belli all the way back downfield to get back into play. Tells you a lot about Adriano Belli, the former Montreal Alouette, and the fire this guy has in his belly.
I like him as long as he doesn't try to kiss me.
Oh, he got me last week. With a double whammy.
He did? Both cheeks?
Oh, yeah.
He's famous, well, infamous for that, I guess, more than famous.
Guy who owns a meat plant, is part of a meat processing plant.
Whoa!
I'll tell you what, could be a butcher, too. Tommy Jones almost. And he does go down. Looked like they had him. Jones got out of it. Tommy Jones is having all kinds of trouble with his front line tonight of the Hamilton Tiger-Cats.
Well, this defensive end, Tim Cheatwood, as is Joe Montford, is a pure pass-rushing sack man. And you're going to see not single effort, but double effort. And here's Cheatwood at the top. He flushes him and then keeps working and does make the play. But, I mean, this is second effort for a guy that simply wants to make sacks. He's got the will, almost had it there, gets up, goes again, and gets the sack, his 6th of the season.
Second and 14. Play action over the middle and into traffic. Largely ineffective so far tonight, Tommy Jones and the Stampeders. Rodney Heath downfield, breaking up the pass. Heath had a big interception a week ago against Ottawa.
You know, some nights, Rod, I remember as a receiver, you just, you say, boy, oh boy, these defensive backs, what have they got in their gas tank tonight? Because you just can't get open some nights. And this is one of these nights for Calgary because it's like Hamilton knows every pattern they're running. They're breaking on the football. They're aggressive. I mean, they're having an unbelievable night in the secondary.
Might they be spying? Lots of spying going on in the CFL.
I don't think so, but it seems like it might have been.
Hey, Bear, line drive, Yeast again. Nowhere to go, then find some room.
What a move.
Bursts outside. Oh, boy. Craig Yeast to midfield, knocked out of bounds. Looked like he would have been stopped in his tracks, and Craig Yeast makes a lot out of nothing. Charlie Hebert knocking him out of bounds.
I mean, that was just an unbelievable move. There was 2 Calgary punt cover people right on Craig Yeast. I mean, right here, he's dead. You think so? I don't think so. Pascal Messon comes up with nothing but air. That's a heck of a return, isn't it?
And the hit made by the kicker. Charlie Hebert.
Well, the kicker's ticked off at that point. He said, you guys are killing my net punting average here with plays like that.
Well, they can see why, again, Yeast leads the league in combined yardage. 22-6. Stampeders may have to rely on their defense to score here tonight. Oh, nice play. First catch tonight from Lamar Slade.
Well, this is a good pattern. I mean, He gets Danny McManus. I mean, he's so smart. He sees zone. Calgary's running a lot more zone tonight than they normally do. Here's Slade. Watch as he comes down. Danny just throws it into the hole, and he expects his wide receiver to get to that hole. See the zone? There it is. There's the hole. Now you better get in there because that's where the ball's going to be. So Danny Mac threw it in the hole. The receiver adjusted to it. I mean, that's great work.
Davis on the delay. And he's wrapped up, going nowhere this time. You know, I don't think I was being facetious when I said the Stampeders may have to rely on their defense to score here, though. They, against a team that is prone to turnovers and interceptions, it might have to come to their secondary to help turn their fortunes around. Otherwise, McManus and the Cats could bury them here.
Well, and Danny might. You know, a year ago, he did not have a receiving core to work with. Darren Flutie had retired, and Tony Miles had gone to Toronto. And so all of a sudden now he's got some weapons to work with, and these guys are executing their patterns.
He's got time.
That's good play by Fields. Crowd wants a call, but I think that was good break on the football.
You know, the irony, I don't know if it's an irony, but one of the things that Matt Dunnigan did as the new GM as you take a look at this pass to Archie Amerson and how tight it was into coverage, and wasn't an interference call.
Well, this is zone again, and Fields reading the pattern and then breaking on the football. And I mean, if they have it on the big jumbotron, the new screen, which is fabulous here, by the way. That's a good non-call.
Matty Dunnigan, though.
Timeout, Hamilton.
When he took over as GM, actually didn't pursue Danny McManus, but he did make a phone call to Ron Lancaster and the Hamilton Tiger-Cats and wondered what the situation was, because of anybody in the league that he wanted to quarterback the Calgary Stampeders at the beginning of the season, he wanted number 14 here.
Yeah, Calgary could use a little gray hair in their offense. Wouldn't hurt them at all.
Again, maybe based on the fact that McManus might have been disenchanted as you see him looking talking. That's a former Calgary backup, by the way, Ben Sankey. You know, after a 1-17 season, McManus did not have a good year last year, maybe thinking that, you know, it might be ripe for a change, but it didn't happen. And don't forget, you can vote for the Rogers Player of the Game. You cast your vote on text messaging, Go CFL. That's on your cell phone or on the internet. Type in the team name and the number. You'd have to think there are a few that are available out there tonight for you. Rogers Player of the Game brought to you by Rogers, your world right now. Right now is what the Calgary Stampeders need to do. Right now they need to climb back into this ball game. 4 minutes to go, third quarter. Curry. McGarity back in the end zone. Comes out of the end zone. Wayne McGarity diving, lost the football, but it will be Calgary ball, and again, deep in their own zone. Tommy Jones back to work, down by 16. Here's our Purolator sackometer. For every sack in tonight's game, Purolator will contribute the quarterback's weight and food to a local food bank. Last year, 90 tons. That's a lot of quarterbacks. Purolator, Canada's biggest courier company. Joe Montford with 5. Tim Cheatwood has 6 on the season. And they have been bearing down on Mr. Jones here. Tommy Jones in the stands, trailing 22-6. Jones has to dance again. Brought down. And a penalty flag on the play. That was after the tackle. And again, Tim Cheatwood in on the tackle. And it's going against Hamilton. So a little extracurricular after the tackle.
Major foul. Unnecessary roughness. Hamilton 49. First down.
So a little extra punishment from Mr. Cheatwood.
Well, he got the sack, and he must have added a little extra icing on that one. Here he comes. Yeah, yep. Make the sack and leave him alone. Simple.
So 1st and 10 from the 30. Jones, loads of time. Almost picked off again. When Tommy Jones has had time, he hasn't found anybody.
Well, the interesting thing, though, Rod, this whole series, when they pinned him deep, McGarity decided, and there's Bernard Cox saying, I should have had the interception, do some push-ups. But the interesting thing here, this whole series, Hamilton's gone to their nickel. Three rushing linemen. Matt Petz comes in, and Rob Hitchcock comes in. So this whole series, they're expecting Tommy Jones. They're going to throw to get back in this game. They're not going to run any longer or try to run, which they really haven't done tonight. So they go 3-man front, bring Hitchcock in, and play even stronger pass defense. Good strategy. Kavis Reed, the defensive coordinator in Hamilton.
Almost stripped by Monfort. Tommy Jones had to look down to make sure he had the football. Joe Monfort was right in on him again. Joe Monfort.
Well, and that's the beauty of going with a 3-man front in Hamilton. You've got Cheatwood and Monfort outside. You can do that. Now, he gambles on Dittman. Seth Dittman, former teammate, goes inside and almost comes back and gets it like Cheatwood did a few plays ago.
So Joe Monfort to the sidelines. 16-point lead, 2:42 to go.
I've really been impressed. Sorry, Rod. I've really been impressed with Hamilton's defense tonight. I mean, they've got solid play from the front seven, and the secondary's had a great night. So this has been a pleasant defense to watch.
High kick. Here comes Hebert. Yeast is there, no yards on the play. Yeast knew Hebert was barreling down on him. Charlie Hebert, busy guy tonight. 2 minutes and change to go before the 4th quarter. The 2nd quarter, the difference tonight. Danny McManus and the Cats scoring on 21 points. Mike Moriali, another reception for him tonight.
Local Hamilton native Jamie Barisi is the offensive coordinator for the Ticats. There he is with the headset on, and he's calling the plays and helping Danny Mac out. And I think he has to be pleased with the way the offense has moved tonight.
Minute and a half in the 3rd. Davis fights for his average, over 5 yards. Well, everybody getting ready, of course, for the Labor Day clashes to come.
Well, again, just to, kind of carry it forward a little bit, Toronto in BC tonight. I mean, BC should probably be favored by a point or two. And, if Toronto loses, they go 6-4. Hamilton now 5-5. All of a sudden, next week's game is for a tie for 2nd.
Big times right now. A lot of people in there. Preliminaries are over. On to the main event. 2nd half of the season. For Slade. Got it. Down to the 8. Lamar Slade, his 2nd reception here tonight.
Yeah, that's the way to attack the zone. Calgary's played a lot of zone defense tonight, much more than they normally do. And what you do is sometimes you can run one guy deep and then you hang somebody out just on the sidelines about 15 yards downfield. It's a soft spot in the zone and a place that William Fields and the rest of his secondary mates couldn't get up and defend that area.
18 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. The Cats looking to pile on some more points here. Davis in the backfield with McManus in the shotgun. Over the middle for Yeast. And it will be 2nd and goal. Play has worked pretty effectively for the most part tonight. Not that time.
Well, it really has. You love getting defensive backs in a chase mode, but Joey Bose, number 23, I mean, he really came hard here. And although Yeast caught the ball, looked like he might have a little bit of room, Joey Bose was right there.
Barring penalty, final play of the 3rd quarter. Cats will be against the wind in the 4th. I'd like to put it on the board here. And through a seam. And a no-go. Archie Amerson hasn't caught a ball here tonight. That's something you don't usually say after 3 quarters. So they'll change sides, and the Cats will try to kick a field goal and extend their lead when we come back on Wendy's Friday Night Football.
At the Quarter, brought to you by Reebok, the only brand that hangs in every CFL locker.
Well, not a real eventful third quarter in terms of scoring anyway. Only 2 points added, one on each side. But Hamilton, you know, they had that opening 3-game win streak, and now they're on the verge of another little mini winning streak, and they got a lot more positives going on right now than they did for that time when they lost a bunch in a row.
Dave, they were 1-17 last year, and that one victory was an overtime victory against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And I'd like to identify some young kids that kind of look good right now and kind of allow me to be optimistic for the future football. This kid is Augustin Barachia. He's a linebacker out of University of Calgary, and he's done some great things as a Canadian linebacker. They also have a right guard by the name of Wayne Smith out of Appalachian State, and they have another kid by the name of Sandy Beveridge out of UBC who's a safety. Those 3 Canadian kids, if they continue to develop, then Hamilton Tiger-Cats as a football team continues to develop.
Gotta love seeing the young Canadian kids
Love
come
the
up.
Canadian kids.
Now, guys, Tommy Jones. Tommy Jones.
Oh, baby.
Come on, Tommy Jones.
Boomer.
Man.
They call him Boomer, apparently.
I'm not sure about Tommy Jones. And Matt loves him, right?
Matt loves him, and he's played the position. So you got to give the guy the benefit of the doubt there, don't you?
But you guess you do. But I'm watching Tommy Jones, and I'm thinking, you know what? What about Michael Sousa? You know, he's down there in the depth chart. Why don't we give? And I know Dunnigan loves Sousa. He reminds him a little bit of Flutie, and I'm thinking, time to try somebody new.
There's been some ugly passes in that quarter there.
Ugly.
I don't think Matt would argue with you too much on that one.
That's brought to you by Smirnoff. Smirnoff Ice, who knows where it will go. It's been going the way of the Cats all game long. And our panel was time for a quarterbacking change. Matt Dunnigan talking with Michael Sousa. He's also very high on Sousa. And indeed, he's going to his bullpen, and Michael Sousa's coming into the ball game.
Well, I think that's probably a good idea. I mean, let's see what Sousa can do. Dunnigan, I know he likes him. I mean, he was kind of committed to Tommy Jones, but Jones just didn't get it done tonight.
Jason Curry.
He's had a miserable night.
Yeah, misses from the 12. Now, keep in mind, he's got someone who got pressed into action earlier today, Jason Curry. Jamie Borum, the kicker of the last few weeks.
You're being kind.
Well, he did get pressed into action. He wasn't expected to play.
14-yard field goal. You and I could kick that.
You could kick it.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, you could kick it.
Well, anyway.
Anyway, Michael Sousa's into the ballgame.
Well, I'm interested to see how he plays. I mean, we've seen Crandall this year, Tommy Jones, and I haven't seen Sousa.
From Illinois State, played in the AFL2, the Arena Football League with Peoria. I remember one of the early ball games, Matt told me, he said, you know, I really, really like it. Kind of has some Flutie-like qualities. That's some high praise. Let's see. Roll out, well, 1 for 1 to Celicio Sanford. Down the sidelines and a big pickup.
Well, it's a smart thing right off the bat for a young quarterback is to take half the field out of play. Quick rollout, get outside the pressure. Hamilton still staying with that 30 defense with Rob Hitchcock in there as the extra defensive back / linebacker. Well, Cheatwood hobbles off the field, but I think that's smart for Sousa. Just a real hard rollout, get outside the ends right away.
Well, the Stampeders need to find the end zone here early in this fourth quarter, no doubt. Trailing 23-6 now. Sousa going left this time, 2 for 2. And breaking the tackle is Sanford. 2 20-yard pickups in a row from Celicio Sanford.
And I can tell you one thing about Mike Sousa. He's got a quick release. I mean, he has got a very, very fast release. Watch this. I mean, when he sets up, makes his mind up, kaboom, it's gone.
So
not a bad start.
Yeah, a couple of big pickups here for Sousa. Maybe his receivers will get into the ball game too. They've been waiting for a lot of balls to come their way tonight. Jones was seriously off target. Draw play. Victor Reich. And that's close to a first down.
Well, it's funny. All of a sudden, the Calgary offense feels like it has some flow to it. I mean, 2 good plays, 3-man rush, good defense to run a draw against. Boom. Get 3 guys coming upfield, do the draw.
Into the ball game comes Scott Reginbald, number 21. You know what's wrong with that picture? Usually they're 2 Scotts, Reginbald and Dybert. Dybert's not here tonight, has a hamstring. I'll tell you what, though, he's the happiest guy with a hamstring. You know why?
Why?
He won a lottery yesterday.
No.
A $400,000 house.
He did?
He's back in Calgary.
In the house.
He's in the house, hoping his team can take it to the house here. Reginbald.
That's quite a story.
Yeah. The guy gets hurt, wins a lottery. There's Reginbald. Again, Scott Dybert and Scott Reginbald, kind of interchangeable parts, the 2 of them. 2 big backs. In with Calgary for a while.
All right, we get in the red zone now. That 14-yard line. You know, here's where the field starts to get a little tighter for Mike Souza. We'll see what he comes up with. But so far, absolutely impressive as can be. 2 for 2 on this drive.
And paramount to find the end zone if they want to get back in the football game. Oh, bad snap. Souza got it back. And lucky to get it back. Joe Montford right in his face, who's saying, hey, kid, welcome to the CFL.
My, oh my, I mean, it really has been Murphy's Law for the Stampeders, though, hasn't it? I mean, you get a beautiful drive going, and all of a sudden, I mean, the snap a little off, but...
Good recognition from Souza now. 2nd and long yardage. So Michael Souza in relief. Big play here for the Stampeders early in the 4th. Out of the backfield comes Ike. Read perfectly. Read perfectly by Renard Cox. Showing you why he's one of the CFL leaders in tackles.
Well, it's so interesting to watch Hamilton play defense tonight. They're so in sync with each other. Initially, at the line of scrimmage, Hitchcock had Ike. But when Ike went in motion, he passed him off verbally. You could see it to Renardo Cox. Cox took him. Hitchcock came on the blitz, got the pressure, and, you know, consequently, Calgary can't come close to a first down. But the defense for Hamilton tonight has communicated well. They've been aggressive and just a treat to watch.
Michael Souza stays on the field. He's the holder. Hebert putting it up. Oh, my goodness. Missed it to the left. 23-7 is the score. There's sack leader Tim Cheatwood with some discomfort. Let's go down to Claude Fegg right now. Claude.
Thanks, Rod. Well, you see that the training staff is working on Tim Cheatwood. He came off, hobbled off the field. It looks like it's cramps, and it's ironic because I talked to the Hamilton doctor earlier in the game, and I asked him, were you guys prepped for the humidity and the hot weather tonight? And they said they've been giving their guys a lot of liquid all week, and they certainly pumped Cheatwood with some extra juice to try to get him back out, but he looks like he's okay and could be coming back, guys.
Well, if Joe Montford has his way, based on that analysis from number 53, he'll be back. The heat tonight, though, in the stadium has all been on the Calgary offense. Unable to do anything. Manis handing off to Davis. Say that a lot here tonight, but Troy Davis on first down is an automatic 5 yards. Well, the next home game, Labor Day against the Argonauts. If you live in Hamilton or in the Horseshoe, you can get tickets. You might not be able to get them the way it's going, actually. You better call now, 905-547-CATS.
And you know what's fun? It's going to be a late start, too. Rob Hitchcock was telling me. Don't hold me to this, but I believe it's 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock start, which is great. You have to enjoy the weekend and then finish it off with Monday night football.
Disguising on 2nd and 3, and Danny Mack. You know, he's heard it all. He's heard all the cheers. He's heard the cheers, and they're on their feet for the 39-year-old.
Well, that was a planned play. Earlier I thought maybe not, but watch here. Here's the guy you fool. And then Danny goes that way, and whoops.
Here, guys. Over here.
Derek Ford got taken down to the inside. Couldn't get it. Actually, it was Joe Fleming.
8:58 to go. Fourth quarter. McManus throwing. Middle. Guess who? Sure-handed Mike Morreale tonight. And that will be another first down.
Done a real nice job at finding the holes when he's been asked to run crossing patterns. He's done it fearlessly, and Mike Morreale's really found a nice niche since coming back to this offense. Last year, a bit of a struggle, but 7 catches tonight, and all good catches over the middle, well executed. And he really gives the balance. Again, earlier I said they've got 3 guys that can go vertical at any time, and Morreale gives you that balance underneath.
First and 10 again. First down, guess who again? Davis, this time swallowed up by Brian Clark.
Well, he hasn't had the night that he had a week ago against Ottawa, Troy Davis, but you know what? It's been effective enough that Calgary really has had to respect the run tonight. They can't just simply tee off on McManus, which has been the case for the last few years. So, although the numbers aren't huge, the numbers are good enough to have kept the Calgary defense off balance with Hamilton's running game.
Tiger-Cats have picked it up here the last couple of weeks, reaching the midway point of the season.
What they're doing nicely here is killing a lot of clock.
Throwing again. Going deep for Archie Amerson. Nice play by Milo Lewis.
Yeah, I'm not so sure Lewis didn't even grab his arm just a little bit. Archie's left arm just at the last second, so he couldn't use both, but you're going to get a great look at it here going to the corner. Watch and see if Lewis maybe grabs that left arm just a bit. Yeah, so he got that left arm, so Amerson had to just try to make a one-hander.
Again, they show it up on the big screen. Sometimes I wonder why they show controversial plays on the big screen. It just incites the crowd even more.
Gets them going here.
So back to punt again is Jason Curry. Emergency call up today for Jamie Borum. This is what Curry does best. His punt. 0 for 3 in field goals tonight. Angles this one. McGarity knocked out of bounds. Stampeders again in a hole. They trail 23-7 here in Hamilton tonight.
The fourth quarter is brought to you by Kellogg's Vector. Vector, official food energy of the CFL. Fuel up.
Well, some well-fueled folks here tonight. Jam-packed Ivor Wynne Stadium. They're enjoying it, the Tiger-Cat faithful. 7 minutes to go for those Calgary Stampeder fans who know their team right now has to find pay dirt, something they have not been able to do here tonight. Sousa throws it upfield. Sprinting downfield for the football was Albert Connell. Tim Cheatwood was right in on Mr. Sousa.
So I guess the muscle cramps have gone away because Tim Cheatwood, working on Seth Dithman, was just in like a rocket once again. Give credit Sousa. I mean, he just stepped up nicely into the pocket. But again, unbelievable coverage downfield. I mean, I've said it a half a dozen times, but the Tiger-Cat secondary is, well, I haven't seen them play better all year.
And just a carryover from last week, too, against Ottawa. The win to break a 5-game losing streak. They absolutely snuffed out Kerry Joseph. Sousa, nowhere to go, and it's not picked. Boy, they are ferocious.
And you want to see a stunt well executed, I'm going to show you Joe Montford. I mean, you watch this. This is unbelievable. Here's Montford here. They get pressure, and then he comes right up the gut, right in Sousa's face. My goodness, watch this. A little step here, and then right up the gut, and boom. Who gets him? Mike Sousa. I mean, that should have been picked off. I mean, watch the stunt here. Seldell, push up field, everybody's engaged, and then Montford comes free. And as a defensive end, when you run that stunt, you got to be patient. Let it unfold, and you get your opportunity, and Montford had a good hit.
Bear kicking again. A bouncer down to Yeast. Dropped it. and got it back. 6:09 to go. Cats poised to go back to 500. Well, CFL game story really all in the second quarter here tonight. It was all Cats.
Well, Mike Morreale with a good night, so Craig Yeast. But what I like about the Ticats offense, I mean, we got 6 minutes to go. Danny Mack has only had to throw 27 passes, and he's got a 22-7 lead. 23-7. But I like that for Danny Mack. See, when he has to throw 40, 45, that's when he starts to throw picks.
Again, twin eye. Troy Davis the call. Stampeder defense has been on the field a lot here tonight. Have been trying to force some turnovers. You talked about the pickoffs. You know, in the Ticats in the first 3 games when they won, Danny McManus threw only 4 interceptions. In that 5-game losing streak, he threw 12 interceptions, only 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And over the last 2 weeks, just the 2 picks. So those numbers, the interceptions coming down, the touchdowns coming back, and Danny McManus, I don't know if you can think about a more resilient quarterback through the Canadian Football League the last couple of decades.
No, they don't. I mean, he throws a lot of picks, but he doesn't let it get him down. And, you know, they're going to improve on it, but they were worst in the league in the takeaway giveaway category tonight at a -14. And you know, that's pretty incredible to think that. I think they're improving that by a couple tonight, but
Procedure, Hamilton 68, still second down.
Incredible to think that after tonight you're probably still last in the league in the takeaway giveaway and you're at 500. That's not bad.
No, you're right. Get to 500 tonight. The Cats will if they hang on here. 5:14 to go. Don't forget, we go to BC Place.
Oh, yeah.
Lions and Argos after this one.
Michael Bishop, player of the week in his first start. How about that? And Casey Printers tonight.
And some protection here for Davis. Hurdles. See that little jump. Brian Clark, John Grace, right in the middle of it with Archie Amerson. So a time of a game where, you know, tempers get a little short. John Grace missed last week with an ankle problem. Suffered in that Saskatchewan game. When he is on, when he is healthy, though, he is dynamite. Here's the penalty. Right of your screen. Oh, Archie Amerson hit John Grace from behind.
I think if I was John Grace, I would take exception to that.
Calgary Stampeders. John Grace, one of the former Ottawa Renegades, came over with Seth Dittman in that 9-player deal. John Grace has been one of the saving graces for the Stamps so far this year. Again, a 2-7 record. Is there some light? They have the Labor Day game with Edmonton, back-to-back with the Eskimos, then Ottawa. McManus downfield. Stretching out was Flick. The crowd wants an interference call. They won't get it.
That's pretty interesting. That's the first time that they've run the double tight ends and thrown off it tonight with play action, and they had Flick running the post as well. On the other side, they had Tunkara running the streak too, and there's Flick. It's a play action, good call, and Jeremy Pearl's pretty good shape on the coverage, and you see the hand in. That's nice coverage there. Once again, though, a different look by Hamilton. Double tight ends, and yeah, the jawing starting. And
it makes you wonder why Jeremy Pearl, I think Flick was saying something about the scoreboard at that point. Manus, sideline. Flick again, and they have a running commentary, these two.
Well, DJ Flick, who was with the Ottawa Renegades, I always say Rough Riders. Anyway, he was a free agent in the offseason. Good signing by the Ticats. They had to improve their receiving core, and he's got legitimate 4.2 speed, and when he pushes off like that, you have to respect his ability to go deep.
Probably think after Pearl was in his face in that last play, he probably went back into the huddle and said, "Hey, Danny, try me on this sideline." Well, Pearl and DJ Flick go back at each other again. Pearl right up on him this time. The handoff, though, to Troy Davis. Still on his feet. And it looks like another Hamilton first down, and it looks like it's going to be a Hamilton win here with 3 minutes to go.
And again, nice job to work the clock now. And Troy Davis, like all good backs, makes people miss. And number 48, Brian Clark, had him in his sights and ended up with nothing.
Greg Marshall, the former coach here in Hamilton at McMaster. He resuscitated that football program. Undefeated seasons the last 3 seasons, and now is the coach of the Cats. And he has helped revive football here in Hamilton after their 1-17 showing last year. Looks like they're going to go to 5-5. 3-minute warning, timeout on the field. This is Wendy's Friday Night Football from Hamilton.
Just a reminder that at the bottom of the clock, we are going to go from Danny McManus to KC Printers. The Lions and the Argonauts, game 2 of our Wendy's Friday Night Football doubleheader. Back to you, Rod.
And yes, Dave Randorf, Toronto Argonauts, look over your shoulder because gaining on you quickly. Danny McManus and the Hamilton Tiger-Cats. Some people thought these Cats were left for dead a couple of weeks ago after 5 straight losses. 2.5 minutes away from picking up their 2nd straight win, and 2 weeks in a row of impressive play like this. Yeast with running room. And runs it down to the 25. And again, more chirping going on.
I don't know why he has to talk. I mean, that was a great run. Just make your run, kill the clock, and go back to the huddle. And Yeast with so much speed, all you need is just a little seam to the outside, and they do run him down, but once again, the Ticats doing a nice job on the ground.
You're right, though. There is a lot of this taunting stuff going on and chirping. And has anybody watched the Olympics and seen how they've been reacting to the showboating going on there, the way the crowd's been reacting to some of the Olympians? Handoff up the middle. Maybe those days are starting to be behind us. Well, we'll get to the days when Leif Pettersson played. When you got it, you did get a touchdown. Yeah,
yes,
and looked like you've been there before.
Spike was a spike was the biggest thing, when I was playing, and a little spike, and that's okay. But again, I've said this before many times on the air, Rod. Do it like you've done it before, not like it's the first time you've ever got a touchdown or made a good run.
To a discotheque.
Yeah, no kidding. Tough night for Matt Dunnigan, his young quarterback there, Mike Souza, who took over. But once again, the Stampeders just with no offense whatsoever tonight.
Flag on the play again. Having said all that, every once in a while there is some nice choreography going on in the end zone.
Before you have to stop at these places, stop at this place. Now get 25% off parts and labor on Monroe Brakes. Canadian Tire. Let's get started.
Offside Calgary. So, what does Matt Dunnigan do beside getting a helmet and pads and getting out there and playing himself? It's obviously a tough situation with your quarterback right now. Crandall, quite obviously, isn't the Marcus Crandall of a few years ago. Tommy Jones, inexperienced. Michael Sousa's inexperienced. Like to probably go out and get someone to help them through this time. It's not all quarterbacking, however.
No, but it's not. The supporting cast around him made a lot of mistakes tonight.
Do you think he has too much on his platter as general manager and head coach and offensive coordinator and whatever else he has?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I absolutely do. I think, and you know what? I mean, in what I've heard, and I can't substantiate this, but I think it was offered to him as coach and general manager. It was not open to debate. It was to take both jobs, and that were the terms that I believe the Stampeders gave to Matt. So I think it is a lot for one guy. I really do. It remains to be seen, but
Davis bursting right side and pulled down. Well, it is a lot, especially with a team that is in rebuilding stage 1. A team that basically cleaned house.
Well, here's a prime example now, Rock, because we're getting close to NFL. and there's going to be a lot of cuts come around. And you know, you're going to have to start to put your general manager's hat on, saying, who do we replace? I mean, do we have the right players here? And if we don't, I got to keep coaching these guys every single day. But then I've got to maybe replace 2 or 3, 4 guys, and I got to find out if they're any good and all that kind of stuff. And this is not good news here.
Yeah, how costly is this really in a game that's put away for Troy Davis as he gets hurt on this play, brought down by Joey Bose. And you do not want him out of the lineup. If the Cats are without Troy Davis, they are a completely different ball club too. And he is in a lot of pain. We'll get Claude to give us an update.
I think he's all right.
Minute.
I think he's all right. I think he landed awkwardly on his tailbone.
Be a big relief to this guy, Greg Marshall.
Well, yeah, and this is the first time in years that I can recall Hamilton with a running focus as they enter each game.
Well, the only bad thing for the Ticats tonight, the only ineffective thing was their field goal kicking, and here comes Jason Curry again, who's 0 for 3. In fact, the kickers tonight, both kickers, 1 for 6.
It's been terrible. It's been terrible. There they are.
If Curry puts this through,
there'll be a cheer.
There'll be
well, from you and I, there'll be a cheer.
And here's a cheer from him, too. There they go. Well, this baby's over. Put it away. It's another win for the Ticats. 52 seconds to go, and the front line. You know, you could talk about players of the game. Danny McManus had a good game. Yeast had a good game. Davis. That front line of the Tiger-Cats won this game here tonight.
Oh, they were awesome. They were awesome, and the entire defense for Hamilton played well, play after play. And have a look at some of the good stuff. And it started with Donovan Carter early in his sack.
Joe Montford in on every play. Can't wait for the Labor Day clash. And how about Jason Lamar? That might have been the TSN turning point. Tommy Jones is going to go to bed tonight, and all he's going to see in his sleep is Joe Montford and Tim Cheatwood. Bernard Cox in on the play, but Joe Montford, you know he's going to be jacked up after the, I don't know what you want to call it, the Toronto Argonaut experiment with Joe Montford there.
Awful.
That did not go well, and get a chance to play against those Argos with a lot on the line.
You're painting a good picture here.
Yeah, well, for the Ticats, the picture is not so bright for the Calgary Stampeders. And that's quite evident. You don't have to be a Mensa member to figure this one out. They have some serious problems in Calgary. Souza.
But there you see, I mean, you know, like as it's been the entire night, Rodney Heath was in a better position to make the catch than the Stampeder receiver. You know, we showed a pack of all the hits and all the great plays up front by the Ticats, but the plays that were made behind the hits allowed them to make a lot of the hits.
Last week, look at the time of possession. 35-13 for the Cats. Tonight, 33-55. They've owned the football. They've moved the football. And when Calgary's had it, they've been in their face all night. 43 seconds to go. Hebert. Yeast will take it out of bounds. Again, the Lions and Argos coming up next. 2 6-3 teams. Second half of our doubleheader. Wendy's Friday night football coming up from BC Place. What will break there? As the Argos also try to get closer to the Montreal Alouettes, who laid a licking on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And
well, that was a nasty night out there. Did you see
Don Matthews?
Oh, man. He was so...
He was really... I mean, that was just one of those gutter nights, but the Alouettes gutted out another win.
Yep.
Montreal now 9-1, and trouble in Winnipeg still. A couple of teams in the West. You know, they talk about crossovers every year. Crossover this year might be east to west.
Yeah, it might be. That's something we sure haven't said for a few years. So the Ticats will just run out the clock here, and you know, full value for this victory. They put 2 together in a row now, and full value tonight. I mean, they had one cup, you know, the kicking game with the new kicker, Jason Curry, was shaky all night long, and I think we might expect that, but the Ticats, everything else was rock solid.
And again, you know, you look at the quarterbacking situation, but Marcus Crandall, early in the season, you know, they get the win out of the gate. You go into your season hoping and looking for Marcus Crandall to be your number one. He's not, and now they're scrambling.
Well,
and you mentioned the cuts. You know, hey, there might be Ricky Ray might be available. You know.
Yeah, I don't know. I heard his agent talk and saying that if he was cut by the Jets, he felt like there was a lot of teams that would be knocking at the door.
But there are going to be some players available, and maybe airlifted into Calgary. This game is over. Danny McManus, after his team loses 5 in a row, leads the Cats to their second straight win. They are 500 again, and the Calgary Stampeders fall to 2-8. All Cats tonight in Hamilton.